7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
He has a lot of problems.
Struggle to be top 5 in points at the end of the season.
Wow.
You bleach your hair, you're a sellout.
Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show. This is episode number 230. We are here to wrap up all the action from a very interesting Detroit Supercross round here. We are going to get into all of it, including rumors of things that happened that we haven't really confirmed yet, as well as things we saw. Me and Cole here were both at the race yesterday, checking stuff out. Justin was with us, but again, he's got some personal stuff going on, so he's not going to be with us. He's hoping to come back by Glendale show. So
he's coming back like Ferrandis is.
Yeah, at some outdoors only.
Yeah.
But anyway, before we jump into the show here, just want to thank our sponsors. So first off, Complete Racing Solutions. Check them out, CompleteRacingSolutions.com. Coach Rob will scientifically help you both on and off the bike become a better rider and a better athlete and better health in general. So make sure to check them out. You can also check out like their YouTube channel and stuff. He gives away a ton of information for free. And realistically, if you watch the YouTube or other podcasts he does or anything like that, you can pick up on stuff. I have picked up on stuff and used certain things, and I use the Garmin watch he suggests with the app and track all my stuff, and it's super interesting. For example, this week, my Garmin watch has told me that I am literally tired every single day, so my workout regimen has been much lower this week, which is not great.
Do you feel tired every day?
I mean, I always feel tired, but I will wake up with a high body battery count and still feel tired. But I'll be like, okay, cool. Like I know I'm fine. But when it says the body battery's low, which it has been this week, I mean, it's been really low. My high this week at any point was 34. And I usually float between like 50 and 60 on a normal week. So yeah, it's been low. And there were a lot of days it was like 15, 19 in the morning when I first wake up, and I'm just like, man. So I adjust the workouts accordingly. We don't go as hard with weightlifting. We don't do big runs. We don't, we just keep it much simpler, because if you're doing that, all you're going to do is burn yourself out, all in all. So also presenting the show here, TLR Coatings. Check them out at TLRcoatings.com and at all the major social media networks at TLR Coatings. They do custom powder coating, Cerakoting. They can help you with any of your motorcycle or automotive projects like that, with any of your hard parts that need to be coated. We do shipping nationwide. And if you're local, you can come by, drop your stuff off, talk to me. I will sit here and talk for hours because I am a talker. So anyway, make sure again to check them out, TLRcoatings.com. Also on board with us, we've got Holster Co. Reload Rant coming up tonight. Gutter Worx is going to be presenting our 450 race recap. Adept Creative Co. is going to be presenting our 250 race recap. We've got Isaac Nelson Designs, and we've got Edgewood Farms on board with us. Links in the description down below. Make sure to go to their sites, pick some stuff up, tell them we sent you. That way they know that we're helping, and they're getting some value out of the money that they give us. Also, in the description down below, there are Amazon links. If you go there and buy something, we get a small slice. Don't even have to buy what we're linked to. You just got to click the link and then go to Amazon and buy something. There's some merch links, which I am very hardcore at working on this merch thing, because we got to get this figured out. I'm trying to get a store linked up to the actual YouTube channel here, so that all the designs will be down there. We have a new design coming out relatively soon here. I have the design. Isaac got it to me last week, so I just have to order some samples and make sure everything looks good in an actual printed version. So those links are down there. You can just subscribe, comment down below. We do our Complete Racing Solutions comment of the week, which we have one of those this week too. And we've got a full pack show here. Like I said, we're going to break down 450s, 250s, tons of stuff to talk about with all of that, obviously. We also are going to have Kevin Moranz on to talk about another excellent night of racing for him. Co-host here with me, Mr. Cole. Hi, bud.
What's up, y'all?
Saw you yesterday at the race, so that was cool.
Yeah, funny thing, walked right by, I saw Justin and Travis, and they just gave me the Hey, and just kept walking.
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened. That is exactly. We definitely stood in the middle of the aisleway for I don't know how long talking.
Just blocking traffic.
Yes, to the point that your girlfriend got very uncomfortable and was like, we should probably move out of the middle. I was like, no, stand strong.
We don't do this.
Stand strong. We just stay here. So, all right, so tell me about your race day, because I talked about mine last weekend, and I'll talk about some things that I maybe saw or did or whatever. And
Yeah, so Detroit, honestly, it sucks.
it does.
It sucks.
It's terrible.
It's super cold. It's not like you can get into town early and wander around town and be comfortable. We did. Froze our butts off. So my program, me and the girl got there a little early. Parked in the parking garage across the street there, connected to the stadium. I'm one of the guys that gets the cheap nosebleed, so whole package though, I kind of got it figured out down to a science. Parked in that parking garage right across the street, a stone's throw away is the box office. Got the cheapest nosebleeds, $35 a ticket, and then met up with another couple and wandered around downtown. Froze a little bit, but checked out like the Lululemon store and the Nike store and some of that stuff up on Woodward there, which is basically like the main drag, Michigan Ave, and like Chicago, where all the stores are. So it sucks because it's cold. The parking situation really sucks because it's all parking garages, like we talked about. I mean, that's great to begin with, but when you're trying to leave and if you're not staying the night in the city, block out an extra hour to an hour and a half trying to get out of that parking garage. So I got pretty lucky. Got my program dialed in, and let's just say I was out of the stadium and out of the parking garage within 5 minutes. So I got the situation dialed. Not going to give away my secrets. But other than that, man, as far as the atmosphere and everything went, I felt like there was a really big crowd.
Crowd was big last night, wasn't it,
Yes.
for Detroit?
Yes.
There were a lot. So we sat like 40th row of the lower bowl, which is like basically the top row of the lower bowl. So I had a thing above me. So the end I was at, which was
Is this how you were on TV?
yeah. Yeah. It was the end there of the long rhythm section after the start. So so I couldn't see above us, but I could see the upper bowl, the rest of the stadium, and there was lots of seats sold up there too, which for Detroit is impressive.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So I was up above too, like I said, a lot of the cheap seats, a lot of families, young people up there. Something that drove me nuts, which might be a topic in my reload rant, but an infant child in front of me, probably like fresh out of the womb.
Oh boy.
Probably not like 2-3 months old child, maybe. Don't do that. And anyway, the couple that was sitting next to Rusty and his wife, she leaned over and was like, "Hey, did they just go around in circles all night?" And we're like, "Well, yeah, they're racing. There's 3 more races and stuff." And she's like, "Well, they don't do no backflips or tricks or anything?"
Oh boy.
And we were just like, I mean, they have a little bit of an exhibition at halftime, but yeah, this is a race. And they were just like, "Oh, we saw this was going on, decided to come into town and do it," which was cool.
That's interesting.
I thought that was pretty dang cool that they saw the event was going on, thought it might be cool, and showed up. And I think there was a lot of that in my section.
Interesting.
So I thought that was interesting and pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another takeaway is pretty mind-blowing how loud it gets for Mr. Deegan.
Very loud.
Yeah. At the heat race when he was out front and on the podium, like it was pretty crazy to witness in person there.
Yeah. What did you think of opening ceremonies?
I don't think
They're lame now, aren't they?
it's kind of lame. I did like they're pretty heavy on the Eminem and Kid Rock.
Yeah.
I did like the Without Me though. That fit Barsha perfect. They put the verse where he's talking about controversy and stuff, and I was like, okay, I dig it.
Yep.
They should do that every round. Yeah, it was. I don't know. It wasn't.
It's not what it used to be.
I don't
Yeah.
feel like it is what it was. No hot lap either.
No, there wasn't a hot lap there. There was an Indy,
Yeah.
but there wasn't last night, which was weird too. I don't get
wonder
it.
if it was TV or something.
Maybe.
like that.
Who knows?
But, yeah. You know, that I did get my Jets and Donuts.
Yep, I did too.
The donuts are
review
pretty good.
video coming up because
You did a review.
Oh
on it.
yeah.
Oh, we ate all 4 before we even got home.
Oh man. Oh, we did too. We ate them in the stadium. Did a review video in the stadium while we were in between practices. Oh
I
yeah.
should ask some randoms to to.
I should have, but I didn't.
Oh, okay.
So
What'd you get them out of 10?
I gave them a 7.5.
Oh,
They were very reminiscent of, in my opinion, and you're local, so you'll know this, the Sweetwaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just like a Sweetwater glazed with.
They were basic, but they were fresh.
Yeah, they were good.
They were
They
good.
were really good. So
yeah, I got my $30 towel.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Did you end up saving the box, or did you?
I think I still got it. I don't know.
Did you throw that away? Because I tossed that. I was not carrying
Did
that
you?
around.
I might like fold the towel back up and put it in the bag. Or in the box or whatever. Look kind of cool.
Yeah, I was so annoyed because, man, when you're there like that and you're there all day and you got to walk so
You got to
far.
walk around with that thing.
Well, not only walking around with that thing, but I wore a coat over my hoodie, so now I'm carrying that. Well, then by the time you get to the night show,
if you get on my program,
yeah, I know.
I walked right back across the street and put my shit back in the car.
Yeah, well, trust me, I wasn't on that program, so I'm gonna be on that program next year because I'm gonna have a suite where I can just dump my shit and go.
Oh, you're getting on the sweet life.
Dude, I'm just so tired.
I
I've
don't
said it
think
before.
it'd be hard to get enough people to
No,
go in on
I've
one.
said it before, and I will say it again with Detroit. As far as for us, because we have enough people around here, and they're not that expensive in Detroit. Because I asked last year. I was trying to get one last year, and it just didn't work out. They ended up not really responding to me when I was asking a couple of extra questions after pricing until like the week before. Which obviously by then we all had tickets, so like there wasn't anything. But yeah, no, I'm really, really. On that level. Of course, I also thought we were all going to be in the pits most of the day again this week,
Yeah,
but Detroit doesn't have open pits.
That sucks.
So they don't allow riders to do as many as they want. So for example, like last weekend, there were riders that had 7 or 8 people, with them, because Indianapolis is an open pit, so they allow a lot more people. Detroit's not an open pit, so they get 2. And so obviously I came with a group of 4. There was you and your chick that wanted them too, which was fine.
Yeah. It would have worked.
Yeah, it
if
would have
was
worked,
Indy.
but but it was just a no-go in Detroit because of the lack of that. And so, it threw the whole day off, because then as we both did, we're frantically buying tickets on Thursday.
This is just what you deal with when you are not on the list of approved media.
We are not, but it is, we're not approved media, but man, it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
All sorts of cool stuff. So.
Yeah. Other than that, man, it was just typical Detroit. Cold as balls. I did notice the dirt was different. I know they had Monster Jam before this, probably last weekend or whatever, but I guess they sifted through the dirt or did something different with the dirt, and I did notice that it held a lot more moisture than previous years.
Did you watch the broadcast?
I felt like. Did
today?
They talk about it?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
I just watched the first 3 heat races. That's all I've gotten into so far.
Yeah, I haven't watched it either. I haven't watched Indy either. I'm terrible at this. I run out of time really quickly during the week, so.
Well, I mean, what do you got to set aside 4 hours to rewatch your broadcast? So.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, it's really not that much. Here's the problem. It's not that much if I had it on my DVR on my TV and I could fast forward through it, but when it's like on the app isn't very friendly for skipping through. Although I do think when you watch the rebroadcast, you don't have they cut all the time in between stuff, right? Outside of like the actual segments that they're showing.
I think they do.
But they cut out all the commercial timing, I think. But you're still two hours, 2.5 hours or something. So yeah, so it makes it a real pain. I should make it more of a thing, but when I go to the races, it's like I see so much more than what they show on TV anyway. Because it's like last night, what are they showing on TV? They're showing in the 450 class, Webb, AC, Barsha, Sexton, and Tomac there, which I also watched. But then on top of that, I'm watching Kev. I'm watching my fantasy picks. So it's like I'm seeing all that, which they're not showing, because I know when there are those 4 or 5 dudes lined up within like a second and a half of each other, that's what's on TV. Yeah. They're not cutting away from that.
They didn't show Anderson just rolling around like he had just gave up basically.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Even without being in the pits like I was last week, you still see a lot of stuff that you don't normally see. For example, I did a video and I meant to upload it, but it was just the cell service wasn't great. In between Q1 and Q2, they refixed the whoops there.
Yeah, they knock them down.
Oh yeah,
I
knocked
noticed
them way down. In fact, I talked to Kev in between or after Q2 before the night show, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, the whoops are easy now. They knocked them down because when they started the day, they were big.
Oh, they were gnarly.
They were an 11 pack, and they were big.
And I was sitting front row.
Yeah, I was too. Actually, I have a video. It goes up at 6:00 tonight.
Ooh.
Oh, it actually went up 15 minutes ago here.
Somebody weeding it?
No, it's 7 minutes of guys just going through the whoops. Everybody from C dudes all the way to A, because they wouldn't let us in the rest of the stadium there. Between early in the day, you couldn't get into the other side until 4:00. So it wasn't until Q2 A groups I could go over to the other side and get some more footage of some different stuff. So since I had to watch the same thing in Q1 that I did in free practice, I just sat up higher, and I have a nice high angle of these guys all just going through the whoops, so you can
I could
really
watch guys
see.
go through the whoops all day.
Well, we have 7.5 minutes, so feel
Nice.
free to watch
I'll
it
go
over
watch
and
it.
over and over again
I will.
here.
I
So
will. I thought the whoops were, since you had that little double going in,
yeah,
they weren't as chewed out because you had momentum going into them.
yes.
Coming down that off ramp. So.
Yes, and that is something too that you see there that it's really hard to tell on TV, but you can really see the guys either slow up or just charge into them.
Yeah. Well, a perfect example is that shot they've got of Jordan Smith going around Deegan. How much faster Jordan Smith went in.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of guys that charge in there relative to how many dudes were there. So like, yes, Jordan Smith, Hunter Lawrence, who else? Thrasher would charge in there. Blows charged in there. He was real fast in the whoops all day. Sexton's whoop speed, I have that on my notes for when we get to him. Fucking ridiculous. I mean, just ridiculous. And then, like, there's other 450 guys that go into them and they don't slow up like some of the C group and B group guys. But at the same time, it's like you can really see the guys that really go into it with a reckless abandon.
Yeah. Well, you know who was jumping through him? The only guy I saw jump through him real fast was AC.
Yes, but he was jumping early on in the day. Like, he was in
he started
practice
figuring
trying
it
to
out
figure out
early.
the jump line. Yes. So, yeah, we will.
And I think it was just as fast.
Yeah.
Way more consistent, too.
Yep, we will get to him. But yeah, outside of that, did you see any fights in the stands?
No.
I didn't either.
Anything wild?
No, I didn't really
Pretty
see.
tame crowd in the D.
I made the broadcast, which you sent me
seen
that too. You want to know who sent me that last night? Hold on, let me look his
A
name
guy named
up.
Kevin.
Yeah, shout out to Kevin out of Ontario, Canada,
Yeah.
who had never talked to us before through Instagram DMs. Sent me the video before I was even out of the stadium of me on the broadcast. So you can see my bald head. It's awesome.
Rocking Moto Aftermath Show.
Rocking Moto Aftermath Show. Because I was sweating because once all the people got there, it was hot. Like night show time, it was hot.
I bet they cut it out for the rewatch. The replay.
Maybe we'll see. I need to watch it this week to see that. Did you eat in the stadium or did you guys leave?
Oh, I ate the whole time in there.
What?
My wallet hurts.
What did you eat?
I got some fired pizza.
Okay.
That's kind of on the sweet side.
Okay.
I got some like restaurants back there.
Yeah.
You go back there at all?
Yeah. Because
It's
we
kind of
walked
cool
the whole
back in
thing.
there. I'd never been back in there before.
Yeah. The and the second level, was that what you
Second
did?
level
Okay,
behind
yeah.
the suite.
Yep.
There's a chicken tenders place,
Yep.
a wood fired pizza place.
Yep.
Like there's some good stuff up there.
There was a Philly cheesesteak place.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had pizza, the Hungry Howie's pizza.
Mm-hmm. You and everybody else.
When we ate. But my chick and my dad had that what was it? Tonhone tacos or something. Dude,
Pretty good.
incredible stadium
Wow.
food. Incredible. She could not talk enough good things about those tacos. She wanted
much?
more and she forgot. I don't know.
$25.
$12, $13 for 2 tacos, and I think my dad was like $14 for nachos, $15 for a thing of nachos. It was a pretty decent portion of nachos, but I mean, dude, legitimate food, not stadium food. Now, I will say later on, I had right before the night show, I was like, man, I want a snack to get me through before. So opening ceremony sucked so bad that I got up during opening ceremonies
Beat the line?
because I knew there wouldn't be anybody in line, and went and got pretzels.
The pretzels were pretty good.
Dude, mine were terrible.
Really?
Yeah, so they were not warm at all. So first off, I wanted salted ones. The salted ones were so cold, they wouldn't even sell them to me. They're like, dude, we can't sell you these. They're cold. Okay, fine. Just give me non-salted ones if they're warm. They hand me those. Those are also not cold. They were also not warm. They were cold. I mean, dude, they were just terrible.
Oh, I do have a food story too. So I got a Dasani water, 2 of them.
Oh, gross.
So got one of those, and the
How
girl,
did you get a Dasani?
maybe it was Dasani. What else I got in there?
It's Aquafina because they're a Pepsi stadium.
Okay, it was Aquafina then.
Okay, all right, yes.
Oh, anyway, bottle
which
of
is
water.
only like this much
And
better than Dasani.
Emily goes to open her water,
Yeah.
can't get it open.
Okay.
So I grab this thing and I'm like reefing on it. I can't get it open. So I'm with Rusty, bigger dude. Maybe he's got some claws on him. I'm like, Emily, walk up to Rusty and say, hey, my boyfriend's a pussy. You can't get this open. So she walks up to Rusty, says that, and Rusty grabs it, and he can't get it open. So he's standing there reefing on this bottle, can't get it open. So we're like, okay, we'll walk back up to the thing. Walks up to the counter and is like, hey, can't get this water bottle open. Like, what's the deal? And they were like, oh, no worries. Exchange it out, put it right back in the cooler for the next guy.
Jeez. Unbelievable.
So we were sitting there trying to wait it out to see if somebody else was going to buy that bottle of water, watch them struggle. But,
that's awesome.
yeah, in between time entertainment.
In between time entertainment, yeah. So that's something else we could talk about here. So they had the freestyle show last night.
All 4 jumps?
All 4 jump, dude. So when they first came out and they were like toting that ramp out, I'm like, cool, we're gonna have a freestyle show. And like the ramp came right out, and I was like, sweet, like this is gonna be cool. And then we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and I'm like, what in the hell? Like, how does it take this on? My thing is like,
Oh, they had to fit in TV time too.
I was gonna say, my thing is like, I understand using the inflatable landing because it's safer if something happens, whatever. But the time it takes to drag that thing out, set it up, whatever.
Yeah. Then they had to measure out the.
Yeah, measure out the distance and stuff, and it's like, okay, this is too much time. Like, this is too much to come out here to do this to do 4 jumps.
Yeah.
Did you like Axel Hodges though, doing the stoppie towards the gate with all the LCQ guys?
Oh, I thought it was hilarious. He stoppies into the gate, right? And then drops the rear end and just clutch drops it right in their ruts.
And my thing is like, he's literally doing this, looking at him going, yeah, I don't even do Supercross, and I could still probably beat all you guys, to be honest with you.
Well, the guys he was looking at on the way outside of the gate.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, way on
Pretty
the
much everybody in that LCQ outside of Jordan Smith.
Yeah, he was staring Jordan Smith down.
Good.
And then did a big old burnout in his rut when he was turning around.
Yep.
Probably why Jordan Smith got a terrible start. So shout out Axel Hodges. He's the real reason that Jordan Smith didn't make the main.
But it was cool to see. I haven't seen freestyle motocross since the Soaring Eagle races they used to have when they had them up there. And guess what? I still watch those guys do backflips and stuff and still go, nope.
Oh, the
Never.
whips and stuff are cool too. I'm pretty
Yeah.
mind blown that those guys hadn't ridden all day.
Yeah.
They come out there, fire that bike up, jump at one time, maybe not even one time. I think one of the guys they did tricks off it first go.
First go. Like there was just
So
no.
I thought that was pretty impressive. Like
Yeah.
those guys could do that with their eyes closed, obviously. So
Dude, and how cool is it to see Twitch? He's like 100 years old, still doing backflips on a dirt bike, man.
Oh yeah, I'm like, look, there's Twitch down there, and Emily's like, no, that ain't Twitch a little bit, and then he just goes, and his head moves, and I'm like, yeah, that's Twitch. He
That's
just
Twitch.
twitched.
Yeah. Dude, it's cool. I got mad respect for Twitch, but he is. I mean, what's he got to be? Mid to upper 30s or 40s at this point.
What do you think the paycheck was for those 4 jumps? 10 grand, 5 grand, all expenses paid.
Yeah,
at
it's
least?
got to be at least 5 plus expenses per each one of those guys.
Did he come out there and ride for 5 minutes?
Yeah. I don't know.
I will give it to Hodges though. All those other guys went and parked their shit, and he rode around the stadium, got up in the stands. and
Dude,
started
was
throwing
that
stuff
not?
out.
I was laughing. Me and Justin were laughing about it because I'm like, dude, look at Axel literally just pulling himself up on the stadium wall and running into the stands
around, yeah.
to throw stuff to people. Like that is wild.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Like,
The other, he's like, yeah, guys, I'm gonna go do some promos for myself. Y'all go ahead and take
yeah,
the jump
you think
down.
he was throwing sleigh coat shirts up?
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Well, he gave the guys at our end. I don't know if you saw it. He had a fender that he gave at the end with the on off there. The 90-90 there with the on off going up.
okay,
yeah,
so-
that was a fender.
So you want to know the deal with the fender?
What?
So I watched one of his vlogs. He was at Daytona, right?
Okay.
And he was fucking with Twitch and cut all the fingers off his gloves. And was like, "Hey, we're at a biker show. You're gonna ride with biker gloves."
That's
and Twitch
hilarious.
was like, F you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Hodges was going and doing something in between shows. So Twitch cut half his fender off Ronnie Mac style.
That's awesome.
So
But I'm pretty sure it was a front fender.
Well, it is a front fender.
Oh, okay.
So he forgot to bring a new front fender for the bike. So I saw a video of him riding from Pro Circuit with a Pro Circuit fender. He went over there and grabbed a fender.
Yeah.
And it was probably the sawed-off fender that he just threw into the crowd.
Well, whatever.
So,
Still cool. So
it's a funny story with that. I
Yeah.
kind of know the backstory to it.
yeah,
but
it's awesome. But I enjoyed that, man. I thought it was pretty good. So,
Yeah.
all right. So let me see if Kev's about ready here, and
But no, overall decent experience.
yeah, it was a
in
fun little
Detroit.
weekend, man. It was a fun little weekend.
For being, hour 45, 2 hours away.
Yeah,
It's worth going, but it's worth trying to find a room, man, unless you live a little closer or try to figure out how to avoid the parking garage because that's all the fuck there is.
and the snowstorm, because that was
Well, that's unavoidable, but
yeah, that was as I'm driving through that, I'm like, I should have just got a room somewhere over there. Said the hell with this.
yeah, I did go Friday night and get a room though. So
Did you?
I was over in the area.
Oh, okay.
Which, people say Detroit's a shithole, but you get outside around Detroit, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's okay outside of right downtown. Kevin Moranz,
Hello.
welcome to
Howdy.
the Moto Aftermath Show, sir. How are you?
I'm doing swell. How are you guys?
No, well, so I was at the gas station about an hour ago pumping gas, and I went to step over the gas hose to throw some trash away, caught my foot, and face splatted on the ground in the slush, and Ashley laughed so hard she peed herself.
She's sitting in the
Oh,
passenger
that's
seat,
awesome.
and Travis just gets up with just straight slush down the front.
Dude,
of him.
I was soaked. I kid you not, from my shoulders down to my knees. I mean, it soaked through my pants, into my underpants, and I turned around and drove home to change my clothes instead of going to the store because I was just like, this is terrible. So
That's fucking hilarious.
it's been a hell of an afternoon here for me. So,
Yep.
all right, man. So I don't have to ask the basic questions here because number one, I saw you hit the quad last night, which was
Jesus.
sweet.
Yeah, just pulled it out in the main event like it was like nothing to do. You know
I
what
know.
mean?
I know. I told
low-key-
you got to do it, bro. I told you.
Low-key, kind of proud of myself for that one.
Dude, it was funny because, like, on the sight lap, I told Justin, I was like, okay, we got to watch Kev because he said he's going to do a sight lap send on this. And then I'm, like, sitting there and I'm like, oh, man, they get the guy standing with the yellow flag to wave him off the track right in the middle of that section. Kev, please quad into this guy. It'll be awesome.
I was gonna try to at least to get the double end to figure out the double end. The quad I knew it wasn't gonna be very hard.
Yeah.
The double end was the tricky part.
So-
But I'm going around and Benny just rolls right in that line. I'm like, bruh.
Yeah. I saw you, like, try to half jump it, just, like, nose into that one before the table. And I was like, well, hopefully that was enough to figure it out. And then, like, I don't even know what lap it was. I watched you do it, and I was like, oh, must have been enough because he just greased that. So
that's
Yeah, it was like the third lap.
that's badass. You just decided to follow somebody over, or you just decided to?
No, I just sent it. I
No,
just sent it.
Daddy over here texted him
Oh,
after the
shut your
heat
mouth.
and told him, hey, man, Sexton just passed whatever,
Sexton
Roxon
did use it
or
to
whatever.
get around him,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, you got to do it. And then he was like, shoot, haven't, because when we talked between qualifying in the night show, I told him, I was like, that's the only thing that I'm seeing that's different.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, haven't done that all day, not gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, man, whatever. And then when I saw Sexton use it and get him, I was like, dude, you got to do this because like no one's doing it.
Yeah.
And then Cade did it too in his heat. And then I texted him again. And I was like, Cade's doing it, so you better fucking do it.
Well, I noticed with it, and
They'd have been doing it all day though.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. How did
Yeah.
you didn't you do that in press day though? Because that
No,
was
I never did it until the main event. I just pulled it out of my back pocket.
Dang, Kevin
Cade
Stewart
was
over
doing
here.
it since day one.
what. So what did you do in press day then? Did you just roll that inside? Because I know
They had a tough block.
yeah, for the outside.
Yeah.
So they all were going to the inside there. So did you just roll and then go over table?
No,
and then
by the time we got to ride, because I rode afternoon press, they had the knuckle fixed up,
Oh, okay.
so you could go outside.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. So how was your weekend in the city of Detroit? Because it's a real shithole. It's not our shining star here in Michigan.
But no, I mean overall it was pretty good weekend. Yeah, man. I used to be stoked with 16s, and it's kind of an interesting dilemma that I was stoked with 16th 3 weeks ago, and now I'm pissed with 16th kind of deal.
So
I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or what, but
yeah, so I guess the big question for you there with that is, did you gas yourself out like the first half of the race because the starts are back?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100% because I was up front. Obviously, the first lap, I finished like 6th over the finish line on the first lap, and then like that second lap, I was trying to stay up there.
Yeah.
And so I was coming in hard into the corners, and those dudes would just dive bomb you. So then you'd have to completely check up, try to change your line. Then you got to go fast, and then the next dude dive bombs you, and it's just like really overwhelming, really quick.
Oh, I bet.
So yeah, my heart rate just spiked, and then got into a really solid groove after Benny and Cade got around me, and just latched on with them for like 6 laps in a row, staying pretty dang close to them. Actually, kind of gained back up on them a little bit because they're kind of playing cat and mouse. And then, yeah, dude, I don't know, just hit a wall. Like, couldn't hit the whoops at all. Was just struggling. So, we had the speed up there at the beginning, and in the middle of the race, we just didn't finish very strong. So that's what we need to start working on.
Yeah, I like 12 minutes in, I was watching you because that was when all the big hitters in the front had kind of passed each other and kind of started to spread out. And so I was like, okay, cool. I'll watch Kev here for a few laps. And I was watching you, and of course, my dad is into the sport, and he was with us last night, but he's not quite as in tune with it as I am. And so he's going, what's Kevin doing? He's going backwards. And I was like, dude, he's tired. I'm like, I'm watching you hit the whoops, and you're not charging them like you were earlier in the day. I'm like, dude, he gassed himself the first 12 minutes being up there.
I can't even imagine that intensity being up there with those
I can't
guys.
either. But, dude, the starts are back, baby. Oh, man, all day on those the practice starts, the qualifying, or the heat race starts. You're up there, like, basically coming in the corner neck and neck with whoever's hole shotting, and I'm just like, yes, here we go.
Straight out of the heat
Dude,
again,
honestly,
too.
I low-key thought I almost had that main event.
You did. My dad had to ask me. He's like, dude, did he get that? I was like, I think he got pushed out just a smidge there and didn't get the line
AC
first.
got me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fucking AC. Jeez, man. Come on, bro. Like, your wrist is jacked. Just get out of the way.
Yeah, straight out of the heat, too, Kev. That's I thought it was interesting hearing you say that's like 3rd, 4th time you went directly out of the heat.
That's my 4th time in my career, 2nd time this year.
God, that's a crazy stat in itself.
Yeah. Nah, that's super cool, man. That is super cool. So, much different dirt this week than we had last week there, though. So, that was
that's no joke.
That was probably
I
helpful.
enjoyed it. Yeah, dude, I did not enjoy Indy.
I was like, I would never want to ride that track in Indy. I don't care how good I would ever be. Don't put me on that track.
So, what went through your mind there on that second to last lap as AP passes you, lapping you, and then weeds it right in front of you?
Well, I didn't know that he was winning. I don't know why. I was really confused because I was never expecting AP to go around me first. So when the first KTM passed me, I didn't even look at the number. I just assumed it was Coop. So then, like, 4 people later, Coop went by me, and I'm like, did he go down? Like, because I saw a yellow flag at some point, and I was like, I thought that was just a tough block, but did he go down? And then all of a sudden, like, when AP came around again, and then, he weeded himself right in front of me. I still didn't know that he was winning at that point, but I was like, hot damn, this dude just took a tumble.
Oh, God, yeah.
It was gnarly,
and then
dude.
you just heard the whole stadium just go, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, and I saw his interview after or whatever, like, that is the gnarly, like, that it just made me so, like, shitty situation for him, but so proud that he, like, proud of him, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, how he was, like, he could hardly talk, and then he composed himself at the end and said, we're back to work kind of deal. Like, I don't know. It's just badass to listen to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think everybody in that stadium was heartbroken for the dude. I mean, have you watched it back yet, Kev, the whole main?
No, not the main event. But, yeah, I knew he had a gap.
Gone, dude.
Yeah, he passed AC, like, lap 2 and just checked out. Like, he was 5 or 6 seconds up.
Yeah.
The entire race, and none of those guys were catching him. Not a one. They could not get any time on him. It was about to be like the second week in a row we had a really, really feel good win, and then it all got snatched away from us in a second.
Heartbreak, just like ripped it out and stomped on it.
Yeah. So
he was riding that buck and bull, literally.
Yep. But hey, your boy Sexton picked up picked up another one there, so he'll be happy at the practice track this week.
I don't know if he'll be happy about those points getting taken away, though.
Yeah.
I don't think he really cares, to be honest. I mean, I think he does, but I think the win kind of meant more to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I kind of listened to his whole situation. I mean, like, low-key I'm on his side, dude, because if he saw the guy that was down and he was pretty much on his bike, because I honestly saw Dino there too, it is a confusing situation because you have a medical flag on, like the dude had a medical flag on that double. And then you're kind of paying attention to that. And then obviously looking at the jump because you're rolling it. By the time you get onto the top of that landing, you're already kind of committing to the next jump. And then what? You got to look up and see if there's lights going. They should have had somebody else flagging on top of that jump with another flag because the lights are sometimes too hard to notice. Like I rolled it because I didn't even look at the lights, but I saw the dude waving the flag, and that's what like immediately told me, okay, Kevin, roll.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the question I have about it too. And we haven't even done our race recap yet, but that's the question I have about it too. Is were the lights on? Because if the lights weren't on and the medical flag was on that first jump, then technically he didn't jump a cross flag. He rolled the cross flag and then jumped the next jump. And on top of that, Dino was down for a little while there, so everybody saw him laying between those two jumps. And then when you see him rolling off, like, you know what's happening. So, like,
the danger's off the track kind of deal.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things of like, just because you guys aren't on the ball to shut the lights off the second he's out of the way, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I understand it.
I mean, imagine if Sexton went to roll it, they clicked off the lights, and then boom, whoever's behind him jumped it. Web or whatever. Like that would have been a massive advantage.
Yeah.
I know those KTM boys were eyeing it, though, because like as soon as the race ended, I don't know if you can see it on the broadcast, but Webb rolled up and he was like next to Sexton, where Sexton like put his bike down and was celebrating. Coop is like yelling to the manager's tower, pointing at Sexton, probably like saying, "Hey, he jumped," and they probably got on it right away. But Coop was yelling at the manager's tower as soon as that main was over.
Yeah, that's probably a thing. But we've said it once, we'll say it again. If Sexton wins again next weekend, they're screwed. And I believe that Coop is smart enough to know that.
Yeah, I thought it was just pretty ironic that Sexton's the one that got the gift this time instead of giving the gift. It was funny how it worked out.
Well, and who was it? Justin was like, as Sexton's going down that last big rhythm section, Justin's like, I can't believe he's about to win this, or he's going to win this race. And I said, the checkered flag is not flown yet. Calm down. There's still three corners left here. Like,
well, Ricky said that on the broadcast, and then Plessinger weeded it.
Yeah. So, have you happened to see anything with the Deegan Smith incident where you would like to comment on that?
Dude, I saw his like interview, kind of baller on his part that he didn't like have any remorse.
Yeah.
It's pretty savage.
Yikes.
It was. Did you see, was it the press conference interview where they asked him about it?
Yeah.
He's like 50 points or
something. Did you like?
I heard him say that. I'm like, bro, he's 50 points now because of that.
Yeah. Did you like how Hunter cut in too there to be like, yeah, so you guys want like 90s style, and then we make contact with people and you guys complain, so pick a side and choose it. And I'm like, look at Hunter here trying to get out in front of this stuff too, because he's got things going on also. So
I gotta think there's got to be some kind of beef that started that outside, like maybe at the goat farm or something like that provoked that kind of riding, because
who knows?
I don't know. It just didn't seem like
if you're good buddies, like I don't care like how much you do want to win. The little cat mouse looking over in the turn, waiting and then going, like that comes from
So you and Starling aren't doing that.
No.
Okay.
I'm definitely not. Starling may do that to me.
Oh, here we go. Shots fired.
Well, I mean, like the second one going into that second corner, so they came after the whoops, and Deegan knew who was behind him.
Yeah.
Like he kept looking over the finish line and stuff. But like the second corner, I didn't like, where he literally stopped and like almost a Lessie style clutch dropped it into the side of him.
Yeah, we'll get into
like,
this when we get into it. I have some takes on this for sure. So
we did hear some rumors about a fist fight, but I don't know if that's anything true between Brian and Jordan. You hear anything on that?
Brian, no Jesus.
That's what we've heard from some people.
All I know is I would have been getting back to that truck as soon as I could and just separating those two.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Oh yeah.
there's no way I would let them see each other. Like, I don't care, Deegan. You just made it. You go walk into the stadium for a bit and let him just cool the hell down because he's gonna be so mad. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was wild. Anything else interesting happened last night with you on your world there, Kev?
I saw something interesting.
Oh yeah.
Nothing too crazy. What?
So I don't know if you noticed this, but I just thought it was kind of funny. Some instant karma for Coop. So I saw you and Coop came over the finish line together, and Coop kind of gave you the what's up kind of thing. Do you remember
Oh,
that?
you're talking about in qualifying?
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, I didn't know
Yeah,
we were
and
talking
then
about this.
so
Yeah, Coop was not happy with me.
So I thought it was hilarious because as soon as that happened, he jumps off the side of the track,
And
eats
just
it on the
destroys
plywood.
himself, dude. I loved it. I fucking loved it. So he caught up to me on. I was going on a fast lap. He was obviously going on a fast lap too. His fast lap is clearly faster than my fast lap. So he caught up to me, and then I guess I kind of screwed up his lap, so he kind of held up. But I mean, I just continued my fast lap, finished it off, and I was going for a second fast lap, right? Trying to string two together. So he must have waited, and then he caught me again by the end of that lap, and he was hooting and hollering and yelling, and I'm like, and as soon as we come off the finish line, he's just yelled, like, get the F out of the way kind of deal. And I'm like, dude, like, it's not my problem. Like, I'm riding too. Like, I'm in this session, I'm trying to get my fastest line. Like, I'm not moving over for you just when you want to do a fast lap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's what I was thinking. So I didn't say anything, whatever. So we go over the finish line, go into that corner. He tells me to get the F out of the way, yada, yada, throwing his hands up and whatnot. And, dude, when he crashed, I laughed so hard internally. And I wanted to be like, I wanted to just go by him and be like, good job, buddy. But I just didn't say anything.
Should have flipped him off.
Did you see it out of the corner of
came,
your eye?
Hold on. Oh, yeah. No, I had full vision of it. I loved it. And then after the session, when we pulled off to, like, pick up our mechanics, I was going by and he was Carlos, or I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's Carlos, gets on his bike or whatever, and Coop's just like, as I'm riding by, good job, guy, or something. He said, like, oh, real good job, or whatever, like being super sarcastic. So, I mean, after qualifying, like when we were going up to the heat or the main, I can't remember which one we were going up to, but I went up and just tapped him, like, dude, it's not like I was meaning to get in front of you. Like, I'm sorry kind of deal. It's not like I was doing it intentionally. And he's like, oh, it's all good kind of deal. But I was like, you need to chill the fuck out, buddy.
Well,
Yeah.
I've heard.
That's when I was like, that red plate's getting to him a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He kind of alienates himself and is a super dickbag on race day, from what I understand.
I was gonna say from the stories we're hearing here, he is a very focused individual on race day there. So,
But still, chill out.
yeah, still chill out.
Yeah.
So,
we
that
just thought it
awesome.
was funny, and we were hoping you thought the same. Like,
Yep.
like instant
Yes.
karma. Haha.
So,
Indeed.
That's funny. But no, other than that, man, another great ride. What's next on the list? Getting in through the heats now.
Yeah, I mean, and there's nothing on the list besides every main event from this point out and fight my butt off to keep top 20 in points.
Yep.
That's really the main goals. If the results, obviously we want to get better than 14th. We want to get a couple more top 15s, work down to maybe like 12th or something like that somewhere. Top 10 would be sick, but that's probably a little later in the season. But, there's nothing like specific place that I'm worried about. It's main events and as many points as we can get.
Hell yeah.
sweet.
Hell yeah.
Heard any rumors about Seattle getting canceled yet?
For what?
I heard it's
Yeah.
been raining for like the last 2
Oh,
weeks.
yeah, it has been. It's going to be I forgot about this. Yeah, it's going to be a shit show, I bet. But it is what it is.
Somebody told me yesterday, they're like, oh, I've heard there's a possibility this could be an Oakland 2.0 here, and I'm like, oh boy. So we had another off weekend in 2 weeks here, and that will not be a thing.
Oh my goodness, dude, I would be so mad.
Oh, imagine driving all the way out
Oh
there.
my
for
gosh,
it.
dude, that would screw my flight situation because flights out there are so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I booked mine in like January because last time I booked it, it was like $1,000 a piece.
Yeah.
So if I have to change it, I'm going to be so screwed.
Yeah, and here's the thing, though. the off weekend's the next weekend. So it's either
exactly.
It's either we race this weekend or we take this week off and race next weekend, depending upon the rain situation. The thing is like we talked about this on the car ride home last night of like it's just stupid to keep going to Seattle unless you can get in the indoor stadium there because this is the kind of dumb stuff we run into. So
you know what it is? It's just the moto gods are just trying to give AP a win.
Yeah, that's it for sure this year. So all right, well, Kev, thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
And great job last night, man. And yeah, we'll talk to you whenever the Seattle race happens here in the next couple of weeks.
Alrighty, sounds good. I appreciate you guys.
All right, later, bro.
Take it easy.
Alrighty, bye.
All right, privateer
stuff on the
hero
coupe
Kevin
thing.
Moranz. Yeah, good stuff on the coupe thing there. So. Oh man, that was great. So, all right, let's take a break here and reset cameras so we can get into the race recaps here. And yeah, so we will take a quick break. We'll come back with the 450 and 250 race recaps, and I got some hot takes on a few things for that.
Boy.
Do you have a tinfoil hat for this week? I had one and I forgot to type it out in my note on my phone, so I don't remember it.
Ooh, tinfoil hat. I don't know. I guess I could think of it.
But I do have a Holster Co. Reload rant. We've got a comment of the week. I have a topic about track designs I want to talk to you about. Bump some ideas off you real quick.
Yeah,
and
I like
maybe get into a little MXGP talk here because we had that race and there was obviously a couple of things that happened there. But yeah, keep it rather short and get this wrapped up early. So we will take a break. We'll be right back with the race recap. All right, and we're back here, and we're going to start off with our 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Worx. Always well hung, just like our friend Justin Barsha there. So thanks to Worx for coming on board. Make sure to check them out. Links in the description down below. All right, so let's start with the Sexton win here. Some notes I had from Sexton yesterday, because obviously, like we said, we were at the races there. Whoop speed was absolutely incredible. That guy was faster through the whoops than basically anyone else I saw all day. Came in with more speed, carried more speed. I mean, bike just planted and going through those whoops. So that was cool to see. And honestly, last night, as far as that race goes, his start was not great. He worked his way through every single one of those guys just like he had to. He was patient. He didn't do anything like he's done in the last however many weeks there. Mm-hmm. And the Moto gods smiled on him. And even though it sucks to say because we all like AP and everybody wanted to see him win, including, I think, almost everybody on that gate, the Moto gods...
tabled.
The turns tabled. The Moto gods smiled down on Sexton and gave him that one. And so now we've got one.
Yeah, I think it was just a Moto God thing that was just like, this is the feeling you give riders every week.
Yeah.
Let's put you on the opposite end.
Yeah, so bit of a bummer that he gets penalized there.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Has the penalty been 7 points before? Because I feel like that's a lot.
I don't know, dude. At this point, it's just like, here's what I really think they do. I think when it comes to penalties and stuff like this, they take a rabbit hat, a magic hat, and they shred up a bunch of paper
with a bunch of different penalties on it.
A bunch of different penalties.
Pull one out.
Just pull it out. I think that's what they do.
Like I said, honestly, I think it's stupid. We all saw Wilson go down between those two doubles, okay?
He's on my fantasy team.
We all knew that he was laying there. We won't get into fantasy because I don't want to talk about it. They all knew he was laying there. And my thing is like, if those lights were off on that thing, then he has a case to be like, look, I rolled through the red cross flag, which is what it is. When the red cross flag is out, I don't have to roll that whole damn section.
But here's the thing, though, is even though Dean was up and riding,
yeah,
they were probably blinking still.
Yeah.
Which is...
Like I said,
which is stupid, but they were blinking.
My big question is, were those lights on? If the lights were on, okay, fine. He really broke the rule.
Yeah, did they have footage of it? Do you know?
I have not seen anything yet.
I don't know about that yet, so I can't speak on it.
And I don't know. Again, Sexton was doing all the right things that I saw in press that he was doing of like, you know what? I can say whatever I want to, but they're going to do whatever they want to do, which is the total and complete thing. But I have to be honest, man. And we'll get to this a little later here. The AMA is such a joke that, because I'm going to talk about something that happened last week, that it's like, dude, come the fuck on.
Where does that put Sexton points-wise?
Let me see here.
Like before and after penalty.
So he is in third. He has 208 points. Let me see here. Webb is in first with 225, so that's 17. And
So it's 10 without the penalty.
Yep.
10-point gap.
And Tomac has 222.
3 down.
Yeah. So, no, 17. And then this would be 6. So he's 11 from Tomac, and he's 11 out of second and 17 out of first.
Mm-hmm.
But again, and here's the thing, like you made the comment there in the Kev interview about Webb yelling at the manager's tower and pointing at Sexton and stuff. I am very willing to say that KTM is probably the number one team to go, if he starts cracking off a couple in a row, we're all screwed. Because
do something about this.
Everybody knows he's faster than everybody else.
Yeah, but the thing is that 7 points is, Kev said he doesn't care about the 7 points, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But if he starts reeling a couple of these off, he's going to wish he had them 7 points.
He is. So, I don't know, man. It's a bit of a bummer because it was going to make the points a lot more interesting. Because you figure he gets those 7 back, and this is if, ands, whats, or buts, but he's then only 4 off of Tomac for second, and we'll get to Tomac here in a second, and then he's only 11 or 10 off a Coop, and all of a sudden, boom, we've got a race again here.
Race.
Yep. So, and speaking of Coop, so Coop gets second there, and
extends the points lead.
Kind of a quiet second, in my opinion, though. Yeah. Like, did you really pay a lot of attention to him all night, other than when he was in that group getting passed? And he was going backwards, which was interesting, too, for a while there.
He went backwards and then made passes again.
Yeah.
Which was, I have to go back and watch it again, but again, I was keeping an eye on, like, Dean got up and didn't really, Dean's on my fantasy team. Anderson was on my fantasy team. Just, oh, God, what a terrible night. AC was on my fantasy team. Watched him crash in front of me, too. But,
yep.
No, I didn't really keep an eye on Webb too much.
I didn't either. I saw him going backwards, and I was like, that. But then again, I feel like all these guys kind of went backwards, and then they came forwards, because like Tomac was the same way. I thought he got passed several times, and maybe it's hard to keep track of everything in the stadium all at once, but I thought he went backwards and then came forwards again too, because I was surprised to see, he was third. That's weird. But yeah, in my opinion, quiet night for Webb. Now, he looked good. Justin had made the comment of like, man, it is impressive how dialed KTM has how dialed the KTMs are this year compared to last year.
Yeah, and Coop through the whoops was really impressive to me too. Running the right side and then being able to change direction and go all the way back across the setup for the corner.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, so that's, I don't know, super, super duper interesting there. Tomac third, neck injury?
So I don't know a ton about neck injuries and stuff. But
I don't either.
How long does this linger for?
And it didn't look good all day. Like, that third place in the main was surprising because the heat wasn't good. I don't know if you paid attention to him in qualifying. He did some fast laps, looked up, and like was not happy that he was not at the top of the board.
He definitely did not look like himself.
No.
So that leads me to believe the injury is still there. He's still dealing with something. I'm glad he actually came out and told us, because now he gets third and we're like, okay, yeah, we know why.
Yeah.
That's the thing I hate about this sport is like, oh my God, Tomac's riding like dog shit. Why? And we would have never known before. Yep. So I'm glad he faced the media, came out and said it.
Here's my thing. Every time they started talking about it on the big screen there were bikes on the track. I couldn't hear. All I heard was injury, and then it was, and I'm like, God, come on. Just shut up for a second here.
Hang on. How about this, though? I don't like this, but how about before every single main, it's like, ball with the ball, and then this crazy techno beat drop and the gate drops.
Yes. Drop the gate. DJ K.O.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of lame. But.
Yeah. So anyway, but a quiet third for him too, which again was very surprising because I thought, these Sexton's going to really make some points on him.
Yeah, but still kind of limited some damage.
Yep.
Limited.
Something like that. So, yeah, Justin made this comment to me last, and I'm going to reference this because Justin was with me yesterday.
God, I wish he was just here to reference himself.
So I'm going to reference this. Contract Barsha is exciting.
Dude,
and
so much fun to watch.
Good. He's a good effing rider.
He's a good fucking rider.
Man, dude, I love
watching Barsha right now.
He was spicy with it all day yesterday. Has he turned over a new leaf, though? Because he's been spicy and with these guys and not being Bam Bam.
He hit Sexton pretty hard.
Did he?
Oh yeah,
I guess I
yeah.
remember
He
that.
hit Sexton pretty hard because he passed him and then, or couldn't quite get the move completely done coming out of the whoops in that 90. Sexton made a very clean block pass and then brushed foot peg on the bail, covering the line on the inside. That's how.
Oh yes, where the bails or the top blocks went both directions.
Yeah, and then after the big double in the middle, Barsha hit him hard.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But dude, super exciting to watch. Practice, I'm like keeping my eye on him. I had my phone on him the whole time, tossing it upside down off the doubles.
He
finish
looked
line.
good yesterday again.
Yeah,
Looked
yeah.
really, really good, really spicy.
You know,
and
he ended up fourth.
yeah.
Yeah,
Another
he-
fourth place, man.
I like contract year Barsha. I wish it was just every year Barsha.
It's going to be super interesting to see if Gas re-signs him or if they wash their hands and then where he goes from there because, interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting.
All right, Ken Roxon was fifth, and
A lot of people are pissed at me for my hot take on
what'd you
Ken
say on
Roxon.
this?
So, the Twitter army was after me.
Okay.
But I said, yes, I'm super stoked for Kenny, but his ride in Indy was a fluke. I will say it's a fluke until he
Yeah.
backs it up in podiums in Detroit, and people were like, well, he's, what did somebody say? Oh, second in the heats, fastest, all that. And I was like, yeah, fastest at Daytona, second in the heat.
I will say he looked really good all day because I was keeping an eye on him too because I had said to Justin, I was like, I have to see how this weekend goes. After that heat, I was like, dude, maybe they fixed
Same
that bike.
things
Maybe
happened,
they
though.
fixed that bike. And then he comes out in the main, and it wasn't. There wasn't any flash. It was
just
very.
kinda
It was
there.
very
It was
much like
flat.
Anderson. Yeah, it was very flat in the main. And fifth place isn't bad, but it just wasn't backing up the win he had last week. So yeah, at this point, it's like there was a lot of talk this week on other shows about it being a track-induced win last week.
I'm
It's
there.
kind of looking that
I'm
way,
there.
And again, it's not saying he can't get another one. I mean, Seattle, we're talking right now about it being a rain race or whatever, and it's like, well, he could pull another start and get another win. But again, I don't think he's there to challenge the big three at this point. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I would love to be wrong because I like Kenny. I like everything he's about, but yeah, track-induced win. Like he had the opportunity, took it, made it happen. But even with a start last night, I don't think he was.
No.
I don't think he could run with those guys.
No, I don't think so either. So, Christian Craig is sixth, and
Wow,
that's
quietly.
another good ride. I watched him quite a bit yesterday too because we're real hard on the bike
Didn't
is
look
what's
like-
holding him
that was
back.
the whoops. Not good.
Yeah, and he did not impress me through the whoops the way Sexton did, which Craig is a whoop god and should impress me through the whoops. And I don't think that bike is fully right, but he has obviously done a lot of testing with it. He's made some changes and he's making it work and he's working his way up there. Another thing I've heard through a couple other shows is that there is a bit of a mentality thing there of like he doesn't feel like he belongs in this class essentially.
So let me ask you this, and I was thinking about this too. When he did jump in the 450 class, where did he finish? Because
I don't know.
Is it the bike or is this who he is?
Let me go. Let me see.
Let's see
here.
what kind of results that he's had in the past on a 450 in Supercross, because I think this is about where he's been. Like, I think this is who he is.
Oh boy, let's go. Oh, we're in 2020 here. Let's see here. So 2018.
450.
This is interesting. 2018. Yes, he raced 450 Supercross here apparently. Oh wow, this is
6th, 7th, 8th,
Wait,
9th, the whole time.
Hold on. Atlanta 5th, Daytona 4th, St. Louis 9th, Indy 16th, Seattle 11th, Minneapolis 9th, Foxborough 11th, Salt Lake City 4th, Vegas 4th.
See, I'm thinking this might be just who he is.
Yeah,
This is
maybe.
where he slots into the 450 class.
Maybe. Here's a Salt Lake City from 2017 450 11th. Let's see here. Let's go back. You got any more 450s? That's outdoors.
Click on one of those and see who's in the class, like who finishes in front of him.
I don't know. Hold on a second.
Go to a Supercross result.
I'm scrolling back even farther. Nope, we got nothing really there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. All right, so Salt Lake City 2017 on the 450. Winner, Eli Tomac, Dungy, Ando, Marv, Josh Grant, Chad Reed, Davey Millsaps, Baggett, Webb, Dean Wilson, Craig, 11th.
All the same guys are beating him right now.
All the same guys that are beating him right now.
Who finishes behind him that's beating him now?
Let's see. Behind him, we have Tickle, Brayton, Weimer, Stu, Malcolm, Barsha, Freeze,
Must not have been
A-Ray,
a contract here.
7 Deuce Deuce, Bogle, and Angelo Pellegrini.
So, that's what I was thinking. Is it the bike, or is this just who he is?
Maybe that's just who he is. He just slots in as like a 5 to 10th place guy, and there we are, which is fine. I mean, again, that to me, that's a great second 450 guy on any team who can put you in the top 10, maybe top 5, maybe on a really good night with a really good start on a track like last week. He gets on the box.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I mean, that's a good living. You're going to make 300, 400K a year doing that.
More than that.
Yeah.
I bet
Plus
he's making more
your
than that.
gear deals, you know,
Yeah.
like that's your salary from the team. You're going to make
money.
400K. Yeah. YouTube money, all this stuff. I mean, I don't see that being a bad gig. So, and I mean, if he could maintain like a 5th to 6th place finish here every single week, like that's good. He'll be like top 5 in points. Like to me, that's a pretty good situation in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm saying this is who Christian Craig is.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So I still would be interested to see
On an aluminum frame bike.
aluminum frame bike on that Star or something, man. Like, just is it a few spots better? Is he battling to be, you know, top 3 or like third-ish, like a 3 to 6 guy instead of a 5 to 10 guy? I don't know. We'll see.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll see at some point. So 7th place, Justin Hill there.
Hey!
Listened to some interviews with him and his brother here, and they both were bummed for AP.
Oh, yeah.
Like, ruined both their races because AP did not get that win. So
And he crashed right in front of Hill. And,
yeah, when he was getting lapped. But man, that's a really good ride for Justin Hill there, and he makes it sound like he wants to keep riding. So he's hoping that these finishes keep the team happy to keep him around. Is what he's hoping.
Can you eat your words? Do you want me to bottle them up, let you drink them, or what do you want me to do?
I
here?
mean, that it's
2 years off running this well,
I mean,
staying
yeah,
consistent,
it's,
slowly getting better.
Look, it's good.
Okay.
It's good. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. How about the other guy in 10th?
well, just chill out.
Okay.
8th place, AC.
Listen. Okay. So we'll give. Okay. Well, I'm gonna eat my words here. I'm gonna bottle them up and drink them.
Go for it.
Hill doesn't beat AC unless AC weeds his shit in front
Like
of me.
he did last night.
Yes, he weeded it.
Yep.
Probably the same thing AP did, crashing the exact same spot.
Yeah, he did. That's what he said I heard him talking in an interview, and that's what he said. He's like, dude, I did the same thing AP did. Just got my wheel or my foot caught there, and yeah, just knacked off the side, and off we went. So
Yeah. However, again, I think that a good ride. He was pacing the front group there and looked to have enough fitness to go the distance.
Yeah.
And was staying right there in the mix, doing
Here-
the jump line and the whoops.
here's where he screwed up, though, was doing that jump line in the whoops. Now, I'll give it to him. He was trying to figure that out early in practice during the day. He was doing a jump line before anybody else threw the whoops. But the jump line was way slower, and the whoops did not break down enough to justify doing that.
I don't know. I think Jason Anderson would say something different. Jason Anderson rode his ball sack right in front of AC into the ground.
Yeah, everybody else was blitzing though, man, in the
Yeah,
front. So when you've got the top 6, we'll call it, because I don't know about Justin Hill. I didn't pay much attention to him in the main. But when you've got the top 6, we're all blitzing through them all the way through. Like, those whoops didn't break down that bad. There was, and they were. Hey, I don't know if you heard this enough in the stadium. They were a whole foot wider than normal. Whole foot wider.
A whole foot.
Whole foot.
Wow, and guys were still weeding it off the side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, speaking of Jason Anderson, 9th place, and he was spicy all day until that main, and then he was flat. I really thought, here we go, he's going to win this one.
I had him number 1 on my Rocky Mountain Fantasy, but back to AC again. I applaud him. I think that rides like that's all he needs. Clean it up a little bit, but I think,
Where was he at when he crashed? Do you remember?
I think he's 5th or 6th, but he was getting back in the flow and starting to make a little time on whoever was in front of him. I don't remember who it was.
I told Justin during the main.
I think it was Kenny. I think he was starting to catch Kenny again.
Oh, okay. I told Justin during the main, I'm like, if he ends up either on the box or in the top 5 with this, I am going to go hard after trying to figure out if he went to Costa Rica to get stem cells done. Because that is a big improvement in 2 weeks over whatever.
What else was going on?
Yeah. Because it's just like, how do we go from like, I can't hold on, my arm's going numb, and I'm dicking around in 9 to 12th place.
And
with
if he
Dino.
did get stem cells, fuck it.
Who cares?
Who
I don't
cares?
think
Fix
it's
the man.
Is it against the rules? I don't know. If it is, that's stupid, but whatever. There's dumber
He's
things
fixed.
like that. They're not legal in the U.S., so yeah, I don't know. But he looks a lot better. We'll see. We'll see moving forward here, because I'm not off that train yet. Last night, obviously, now we're a little skewed here because he crashed, so it's hard to tell. But he looked real good a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
So
I might fire off a text right now.
All right, so Ando in ninth there, and man, was he flat. And I listened to a post-race interview with him too.
He does not sound very good.
He wasn't super pumped about his main event.
So, before I fire off this text here,
My theory is just getting better and better that Kawasaki's already broke him, and he ain't gonna ride next year.
team pride. That's the issue.
I saw Tommy Tenders walking with some tenders yesterday.
Yeah. No fun around the truck. And I think it looked very eerily similar.
Say that word again.
Let me restart here.
Say that word again.
I've hit my head a couple times.
Yeah, I hit my head today.
It looked very similar to his championship defending year, where he's just out there riding around trying to get expectation off him, I feel like, because he went down. I watched him crash. He had a pretty good one. His balls probably hurt.
I
But,
didn't see that, so.
no, he had an old Jeff Emming huckabuck, and after he got up, I was expecting to see a little bit of fight, and he just kind of rode around, man. And if you're the guys at Kawasaki and you're the big bosses, seeing him just out there kind of riding around like that, I don't think you're very happy. His interviews seem very flat, just like, hey, I'm here so I don't get fined kind of thing. Like,
He's not having fun.
maybe he needs a guest. So I don't know, man. It sucks, man, because a happy Jason Anderson is a very funny, fun Jason Anderson.
Fast. But the crazy
fast.
thing was he was
wins
fast all day. Like heat race, he was really good. Qualifying, he was ripping starts and getting out in front there, and qualifying and just ripping laps for the first 3 laps, and looked good and was fast and spicy. And then he gets to the main and it's just nothing. And then he wads it, and then he really is nothing. So
Yeah, it was. I don't know, it's hard to watch.
yeah,
Hard to watch.
it's
like,
it's
no
super
fight.
interesting compared to last year.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see the lap time chart of like how he probably went from doing what 54s were fastest.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably doing consistent 54s to doing like consistent 58s.
No, so he ran. So the fastest lap of the main was a 52.566 by Chase, and Ando actually did a 52.676
So it's
for
fast,
a best
just
lap,
as fast.
just as fast.
So look at the second half of that main. Where was his laps?
I don't know.
Can you see all that?
All I have is the thing.
Yeah, I would. Him and Dino were literally riding around out there together, and then
Yeah.
at the end of the main, he was like very sadly jumping through the whoops, like barely doubling through them.
Yeah.
So-
I don't know. It's an interesting thing that's
I
going
think
on there. I
it's-
can't wait to see the off-season stuff. And my speculation video for silly season, the initial one I'm going to do here for this upcoming off week, is going to be awesome.
Yeah, Kawasaki is it's definitely doing what it does to riders. It seems like I don't know.
It's not great. It's not great.
I know, and it just it makes me scratch my head because Kawasaki is such a professional corporation.
Yeah.
And they are top notch in everything they do. Why does this happen?
Yeah.
So-
and it's happened for a long time.
To a lot of different riders,
so it's a
so-
big question there. So
But AC seems to be happy.
is he though? Or is it just a comfortability thing?
I don't know.
With AC, I really think it's a comfortability thing, and he's nervous to leave. Because I think with the wrist issues he's got going on here, I think he's nervous to leave because if he leaves and he doesn't perform, then the next team doesn't have a history with him that's going, man, we should really probably keep this guy. You know, he's done a lot for us. He's sold a lot of bikes. We're like Kawasaki, he's got history with them, so they have like almost this emotional connection, we'll call it, even though we've seen Kawasaki drop people, which was stupid before. But I don't know.
Yeah, it does scratch my head. It's just, like I said, I have a ton of respect for Kawasaki. They've won so much for a reason.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know.
They burn guys out so hard. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and what is that? What's the missing piece of the puzzle? So,
all right, moving on here. Josh Hill, 10th place. That's a really good ride for him. He was super surprised he was in the top 10. Yeah, out of the LCQ. Benny, 11th.
very surprised. Should have put him on my fantasy team.
Yep.
But I can't ever do that.
Cade, 12th.
Season best.
Yep.
52.
Yep. Aaron Plessinger here manages to get 13th, even with wadding it. And man, that was just a heartbreak. I give him so much credit for doing that interview, and man, he was standing there doing that interview trying not to cry. You could tell. He was just trying to. I thought he was really hurt at first, the way he got up and then went over and then fell off the bike.
Well, he didn't really fall off the bike. He saw us smoking. So that was like right in front of me. Just
Yeah.
So, dude, talk about heartbreak. Talk about, I hear the crowd go nuts because I had my eyes on something else.
Yeah, I did too.
Crowd goes nuts. I look down. I'm like, oh my God, it's Plessinger. And I literally just put my hands on top of my head like this and just like,
yep.
And I haven't done that and felt emotional like that in a very long time.
Nope.
And I think everybody in that stadium felt the same way.
Everybody was, because they were loud for him. They were pumped for
Yeah.
him, man. So, yeah, that's a tough one. I feel bad for him. Like, that would have been really good. Dude, he's lucky, though. The way he rolled into that, like...
He headbutted that thing.
Yeah, like, and I don't really have a good answer for what the answer was to go into that, the way he was going into it, but he got lucky the way he rolled, because when I rewatched that replay, I was like, holy, because, like, it was almost, he almost got it where it went directly into the top of the head there, and I was like, oh, that's bad. That's really bad.
I think what got him worse is that he tried holding on to that thing as much as he could.
He did.
And then he stepped off the side of the bike,
Yeah.
and it launched him.
Mhm.
Again, man, I can't express how heartbroken I am for the guy.
Me too.
And I think it was more gut-wrenching to watch him pull the bike off to the side, look down, see it smoking, and just clutch drop it. Get off the bike and just lay there. He just laid flat on his back looking up at the ceiling, and I felt so bad for him.
Most of the time when you throw your bike down in anger or whatever, I'm not pumped on it.
I don't think it was anger.
I don't think it was either. I think it was complete just emotional, holy crap, I can't believe that just happened to me after I just led this whole race.
I think he thought the bike wasn't going to be able to finish, kind of thing.
No, I did listen to an interview, and he did think the bike could have gotten there, actually. I don't know what was smoking on it, but he did, in an interview afterwards, he said, yeah, I think it could have actually finished. I could have got up and gone, but I wasn't sure at the time. But, yeah, it was just...
he just got up, just sat down, and just laid flat on his back.
Bummer deal. Such a bummer deal. Was so pumped.
Away.
Such a good ride,
That
too.
place was going to erupt.
And second week in a row, feel good story, and we got it robbed from us.
Literally kicked everybody's ass. He was gone, dude. He got out front, and I'm like, oh my God, he's half a straightaway ahead.
And
when
then, he got to 5 seconds there, I was like, okay, well.
Even the last 4 laps, I'm watching him, and I was kind of marking him. Sexton was going off the face of the finish line as Aaron was hitting the face of the double to go into the whoops. 3 laps in a row right at the end. They were in the same spot, and I'm like, he's got him. He's got him covered.
Yeah.
And
Sexton was catching him, and I was kind of marking it too in some different spots, and I'm like, but he's not catching him enough. He's doing like a 10th here, 10th there. Like it's not enough to actually do it. So I don't know, man. That was rough. I feel bad for him. I feel really bad. Ashley was asking me, she's like, he's never won a race. I'm like, not a 450 race.
He only has a couple. Well, I mean, he's got 3 or 4 podiums, which is very respectable. But
yeah, I don't know.
To win it that fashion, though, your first one, get out front, pull away, somewhat hometown.
Yeah.
Man.
Close enough.
Yeah, I mean, Indy's more.
Yeah, more so.
But
yeah.
I'm sure he had a lot of people there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, all right. So, Josh Cartwright, 14th. That's a career best for him.
Wow, yeah.
Grant Harlan wadded it and still somehow got 15th. I'm not really sure. He crashed at the end. I saw him laying there. I don't know what the hell happened because I thought
he's on my fantasy team as well. So go 4 for 4 for guys hitting the ground.
He was on mine too.
Yep, 4 for 4 for guys on the ground.
Kev again 16th with great starts and busting out that quad.
That's
triple
pretty ballsy
in
busting that out
in the
mid-main.
heat or in the main there. Yeah. Yeah, because I like I said something to him between qualifying and the night show. He told me he wasn't going to do it. I saw Sexton do it in the heat. I saw Cade doing it in his heat, and I said, you got to do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, sight lap send. And I was like, sweet. So
I didn't realize that he's as young as he is.
who, Kev?
Yeah. Because
Oh, yeah.
me and Emily were talking about it, and I was like, holy shit, he's only 23 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's young. He's got time. So
Yeah.
it was
'Cause I
funny because the people sitting behind us, so when it kind of smoothed out in the middle and like in the starts and stuff, we were really cheering for Kev. And the race gets over, and they're like, y'all got somebody in the race? And I'm like, yeah, man, we sponsor this Kevin Moranz guy, and you know what? Oh yeah, I like him. I've seen him or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah. They were like, man, we couldn't figure it out because you guys were like really cheering for somebody, and it wasn't like any of the top guys. And we were like, who the hell? And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, cool. I'm like, yeah, check out his YouTube, man. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
did
So
you tell him did you plug Moto Aftermath Show?
no,
Puss.
I mean, I had the shirt on. They saw it. The whole nation saw it because it was on TV. Yeah, trust me. Hey, in the sponsor,
There was a certain someone in the inner workings that just took that off the TV.
in the sponsor packet for next year, there is going to be 2.5 seconds,
2.5 seconds of
TV time in the show shirt. So, Shane got 17th, so that was that's
Johnny
interesting.
Shane's just wasn't looking good all day, I don't think.
Starling 18th, Norin 19th, Marquier 20th.
Oh, good for Marquier, kind of picking
Yeah.
up steam and putting it in the main.
Yep,
Got real lucky for that. What the hell LCQ red flag though?
That
we
was-
can talk about that too. But.
Yeah. Dino 21st and Chiz 22nd. Poor Dino.
Chiz did not chiz.
Chiz did not chiz.
How about
at
him
all.
in the heat?
I didn't
crashing?
see that. Somebody was standing up in front of me, so I missed that, and then I
Cartwright
just see
crashed,
them both
got up
sitting
in
there.
time, hit the button.
Yeah.
Chiz didn't hit the button.
No.
Um,
No.
starter
So.
strikes again.
Yep. Yeah, and the red flag. Red flag was in this or the 251.
It was in 450 LCQ.
Yeah. The
Yeah, 'cause
phantom
Starling
red
was up
flag. Because I was texting everybody who was there, going, "Do you see anybody down?"
Yeah, I'm looking around. I'm watching the asterisk guy was sitting there eating a hot dog.
I was gonna say the asterisk dudes weren't. None of them were moving, and I'm like, "What the heck?" And the only thing we could figure is like maybe between the double and the whoops over there, because we couldn't see because the manager's tower was in the way. And then then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh yeah, the gate flinched," and I'm like, "Oh," because even one of my buddies who was sitting in a completely different section over there, he like texted me, he's like, "Phantom red flag," because I was so confused.
I was super confused too. I'm like, what is going on?
There wasn't any caution flags before, nothing. So, yeah, that was interesting. That was weird. That doesn't really happen that often. So, all right. Anything else with that before we move on here?
No,
to,
another good night of racing. That the first half of that main, I'm like,
Oh yeah.
oh god, we got a freight train of all the boys.
Yeah, the first half was really good, and then they kind of leveled out, and it was kind of boring for a little bit, and then the Plessinger thing happened at the end, and that made things exciting. So
yeah, it was literally all the big dogs and Kev.
Yep.
right in the beginning.
Yeah, dude. Those starts were awesome. So, all right, 450 race recap. Once again, brought to you by our friends at Gutterworks. Always well hung like Justin Barsha. You want to bust into 250s right now, or you want to move on, or you want to do a couple other things
Let's
and then
split it up. Let's do our other stuff.
Okay, cool. You said you didn't have a tinfoil hat?
Oh,
We don't have to do
can
a
I make
tinfoil
up a
hat.
tinfoil hat
I
on
know the guy
on
who
fly
owns that
here?
company, so you don't have to.
At TLR.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's kind of a weenie.
Yeah, he's a douche, but all right, let's see here. All right, Complete Racing Solutions comment of the week brought to you by Brandon Hickman.
I think I know which one. Oh, you didn't pick that one.
There weren't a lot of comments this week.
I thought
so.
you were gonna pick the one that was very derogatory toward myself.
Oh no, I didn't pick that one. That's okay. We're not gonna go there. All right. So Brandon Hickman comments: the sport needs a channel on satellite radio. This is basically a year-round sport, so no shortage of things to talk about. They have a channel for every other freaking thing. I think it would do very well. I vote you guys host the afternoon show because you are the best. Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah. Send a letter to Sirius.
Send a letter to Sirius. I mean, I can't agree more with it because there is enough. Well, not so much the us part, but the having a channel because there is enough stuff now to talk about between AMA Supercross, the pro outdoors here, MXGPs, Australian Supercross, World Supercross, all the different
are starting to have
nation
enough, yes.
races for the different countries over in Europe. I mean, it's 12 months, dude. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. There's plenty to talk about. I think it would do very, very well. I've been the the one thing I've been perusing here a little bit is because obviously everybody watches Formula One now, and so I watch the highlights. But I also, because I watch that, they keep feeding me on YouTube all their other YouTube stuff or whatever, and the amount of different shows they put out per weekend on YouTube through Formula One itself, not even through anybody else, but through Formula One itself, like it's a lot, man. And so, and we were talking about this yesterday, okay? Because
I'm sure you and Justin were deep in it.
Dude, we were talking about a lot of stuff yesterday. Because of like the web situation with Kev there, right? In the way, that kind of stuff. And futures here. This kind of brings up another little rant, but whatever. We won't count this as a rant. So I did some searching because last week I had the guy in the stands ask me, "Hey, what do you have to do to show up and race one of these?" You know, because it's not clearly laid out. It's not like, oh, you play, travel ball and then you play college ball and then you're into the league.
Why don't we make a video on laying that out?
Type stuff. So I'm gonna right here. This is gonna be a video here. So I naturally one of the things with going in the pits here is you have to know where will call is to go get your tickets, and then you have to know like kind of where the pit entrance and stuff is, right? Well, when you go to the AMA website that shows all this stuff, they also have the full schedule, and then all of the rule changes are highlighted on this thing. So naturally, I was curious, and I click the rule changes, and I see a futures thing. So I start looking, and it's talking about futures points. So number one, to get your Supercross license, you have to score a sum total of 4 points. To score these 4 points, if you are in the top 10 at any of these events, you get 2 points, okay? Here are the events. All of the futures races. Fine, no problem. I got zero issue with that. Futures racing, in my opinion, is awesome, okay? You're on a full-blown Supercross track, in a stadium, under the lights. There's people there. Great. Perfect. Love it. Love it. That is how it should be.
What do you do?
I love it. However, it needs to be more than 4 points.
Yeah, I agree, because I know guys that rode around in last at every single one of them and collected their points, but they just went to 4 of them.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They only pay to the top 10, so that's fine. But
they don't even have 10 entries in some of them.
There's 15 dudes.
Yeah, exactly.
And 8 of them are going to wad their shit and not finish. So all I need to do is sign up, go roll around,
I know,
not crash, and I get my points, and I could go race a Supercross. I could.
Oh, we could do it just to put it in our bio.
Just to put it in the bio, Supercross, pro Supercross racer.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so the futures, I'm totally fine. That should be how you get your points, period, end of discussion. There shouldn't be anything else. But wait, there's more. Minios, Supercross.
Oh, yeah, that's stupid.
On a not Supercross track. That track is not Supercross.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. I'm sorry to all you guys that go race that and are like, oh yeah, I race Supercross. It's not. It is not. And I can say this because I have rode a real, like, legitimate Supercross, okay? I've been out, road's a loose term. I'll admit that. I'm not good. I'm not saying
I'm
this.
going next year.
However, it's not real Supercross, okay? So that's one. Then there are, was there 2 or 3 other events? Mammoth, you get point. What the fuck is Mammoth?
Oh, Mammoth Mountain, it's a straight up outdoor race.
I know what it is. It's not a Supercross at all. Why are we getting Supercross points for Mammoth?
I don't know, man.
And then, hold on, but wait, there's more. The AZ Open. Get out of here. So I can go race these motocross tracks, which are nothing to do with Supercross, and get my Supercross point. Get out of here. This is the dumbest thing. It should be.
That guy that asked you in the stands would be like, what?
Yeah, and this is what it should be, okay? And me and Justin talked about this. Feld loves money, right? That's fine. Cool. I'm also a business owner. I like to make money.
I love money.
There's zero reason that these events, these Supercrosses, should not be 2 days. Let me lay this out for you here. This is very simple. Friday.
Amateur day at Pontiac.
Friday, we go in. We have 3 rounds of practice and / qualifying, just like we do now on Saturday morning, okay? You can even make it longer so these guys have time to roll into the pits, make changes, really figure out the track, right? So you do 3 sessions, just like you do now, okay? In between those, we have the futures come out. They do their practice, their qualifying, and at the end of the day on Friday, you do your futures race, okay? You can now sell a 2-day ticket so you can make more money. The dirt's already in the stadium.
I would go there just to watch qualifying.
The dirt is already in the stadium. You're probably not going to get 60,000 people in there like you are on a race day. So fine. So now you're only opening half the stadium. You're still going to make money. You can do a futures round at every single one, and everybody does their qualifying that day. Then when you go to Saturday, now you don't have to open the stadium quite as early. You could still open it, say 2 o'clock, okay? You do one round of practice for the guys. Then you do Super Pole for the top 10 in both classes. That way, these guys who are doing qualifying are not freaking out at the privateers because they're on a fast lap when they are also on a fast lap getting in their way. They have no excuse now. You have this. Again, just like Formula One in that sense, because Formula One, they have it's very structured. You have a fast lap and not fast laps. You can't just go out and rip laps in Formula One. It's super strange. I don't fully understand it yet because I'm still learning, but I have learned that you just don't go out. Yeah, you just don't go out and rip laps on Formula One tracks. So anyway, so you do this. Now you have Super Pole, okay, which is going to bring people into the stadium to see. It'll be really cool. These guys have one lap. Go do it. Track's not as tore up, okay? Then you go into your night show. You still have 20 dudes on the gate. Here's the other thing I want to change. We talk about these tracks being tore up at the end of the night, okay? Great. Let's pull some laps off the track. Here's how we're going to do it. The LCQ is no longer an LCQ. It's a B main. The B main guys, the top 4 guys, they get 3, 2, 1, 1 points. They still get championship points, but now instead of 4 more guys out there rolling around and ripping a couple fast laps in the main, now we've only got 18 dudes on the track for 20 minutes or 15 minutes. These other guys, these privateer guys, they're still getting their points if they're that good. But let's face it, most of the guys coming out of the LCQ are not doing any better than 18th place. I'm sorry to tell you. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. You're not doing better than 22nd, 21st, 20th, 19th, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, if somebody crashes, they're getting better.
Yeah, if somebody crashes, okay, cool. You might have got 1 extra point, but whatever. So you're still getting your championship points. We now have a B main and an A main.
Basically, just have a LCQ main, and
you're saving laps. Mm-hmm. You're saving laps. Here's the other thing I think. There should be 1 point for being the number 1 qualifier, and there should be 1 point for winning your heat.
Yeah,
there should be.
I don't know.
Now here is why, and this kind of carries into my MXG. This kind of carries into my MXGP thing too. Number 1, it makes qualifying actually worth something, and you only give the point out for Super Pole, not for the other stuff. Okay, so you have the top 10 guys who went fastest, because now you have guys are trying to get in the top 10 and qualifying on Friday to then be able to do the Super Pole on Saturday. Then you run the Super Pole where guys are actually trying, because now it's not just some stupid gate pick. It is, okay, we're getting a championship point. Okay. Then in the heats, again, this isn't just some stupid gate pick that doesn't matter. And we just said this time and time again. You got to watch a 3-hour show, but the first 2 hours don't really matter other than to make sure you make it into the main. That's the only thing. Outside of that, nothing else really matters. It's gate pick. Okay. So you do that. So now you give them 2 extra points. You still keep the rest of the points the same. So that the guy that wins the main is essentially the overall winner for the night because he's getting 26 points. No matter what. But now you're making a reason to actually race, to actually compete in the Super Pole, to actually compete in qualifying the day before. Not just, whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's just gate pick. As long as we're in the top 5, we're fine type shit.
I think that'd be great. It's just...
And then you get your futures, which can get qualifying points. You up the amount of points they need because now you have that at every single round too. I mean, like, you're selling a 2-day ticket. You're getting money. The dirt's already in the stadium.
You can. Yeah, they're already riding. The track's built on Fridays. The
track's built on Thursday, man.
So yeah, I mean, you could sell more tickets, make more money. Mm-hmm. Yes, you won't have as many on Friday, maybe.
Yes,
but you can also leverage the TV package. Mm-hmm. So hey, we're gonna have twice the amount of viewers. Yes. I'd sit there and watch that. I'm gonna watch qualifying.
Well, and now too, you can put out more content on YouTube there. Because
and then monetize that?
Yeah, because I don't know if you've noticed, but like Racer X and Vital, they've been kind of trying to do like short
stepping up their
qualifying raw stuff, you know, of like, hey, here's a 2-minute video, raw qualifying videos, which isn't anything special, but it's just like 2 minutes of they edited a few shots together and boom, tossed it out there. So that literally in the middle of the day, you can see it. If you don't pay for the package or whatever, you at least see something, you know? And then again, too, this carries over into looking at what Formula One does. Formula One does a qualifying video for free practice 1, free practice 2, free practice 3, qualifying, the, you know, sprint races if they have that. You can put all of that content out now and monetize it. And dude, like, so now not only are you selling more tickets, you're monetizing more stuff.
Sell sponsorship.
Win.
Yeah.
For everybody. So Sean Brennan, please call me. I would be more than happy to talk this over with you.
Never gonna happen. But
I'm gonna email him again.
I wish you guys would mend your relationship, but
I mean, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to start emailing him every week.
oh my gosh.
Asking him to come on the show and chat with us.
I would be curious to see what he thinks about that idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's the guy that...
Maybe I should email Prater instead.
Maybe you should just email and apologize and then say, here's this.
let me lay out how to make more money for you here. So
I mean, obviously they know how to make money.
yes.
I mean, they've been making a ton for years. MX Sports, same way. Like,
Yeah.
yes, you can respect a business practice. You can respect business.
Yeah. I do, which is why I do, as much shit as I talk, I do respect
I respect it. I just
that they're
wish it
making
was-
money and like it's like pay your employees the least amount, which is what they're doing.
Yes,
But I don't agree
I just
with it.
wish they would pay their employees more.
Yeah, I do too.
Employees being the show.
Riders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the show.
So,
But
I don't know. It's but yeah, so that's what me and Justin came up with on the 2-hour drive over to
Yeah,
Detroit Saturday morning.
I like it.
So,
I like it.
Now here's another thing that I want to talk about a little bit here. Track designs, okay? So
I got an idea.
we just had Daytona, right?
Correct.
And we ran the same track design from last year.
Kind of liked it.
Was there any issues? Did the race seem boring because somebody had that figured out? No. So here's my real question. Why don't, with these track designs, why do we not go back through the archives, find in these stadiums the ones that race the best, just rebuild them every year when you go to that stadium? Why are we doing new ones? Because like this weekend, okay, you had those switchbacks going back and forth across. We all know those don't race worth a shit. Like they provided something
hang
this
on a second,
weekend, which
though.
was weird.
Another real interesting tidbit about Detroit this weekend.
Yes.
That layout is the same one that's down at the
Star.
goat farm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was interesting. But I mean, I had this thought this week because I was like, man, there's no reason that we can't go, okay, cool, we're going to Ford Field. Here's the layout that provided the best racing. Number one, the dirt's always different. Number one, the weather's always different, so it really changes the dirt.
throwback design.
Number three, the bikes are different. The guys are different. Like, there's no reason we cannot build the same track layout and then, like, just see what happens.
Yeah. What I'm thinking what year had some good racing. It was Stu versus
I
Stu
don't
and
know,
Villapoto went at it in like 2014 or something.
Yeah.
Put that layout in there.
Yeah, well, it's like what was the Glendale year not too long ago here that we had a really good race at Glendale. Build that at
that
Glendale
track
again.
again,
Yeah, like just do it. Like have the
I
same
mean,
layout.
they've tried that before with replica tracks for sure, but I don't think it's been the right one.
Yeah.
And another thing I think they should include more is, yes, everybody's complaining about the whoops getting broken down.
Mm-hmm.
Now when we build whoops, let's do that double before. Like, look at this weekend.
Yeah.
That double before really set it up.
But there is controversy around that because some guys don't like that because you can carry so much speed into it that it can get dangerous, essentially. But
I guess.
I don't know. I agree with you. I think it's better because it doesn't break the whoops down quite as bad, but part of that's dirt dependent too. I mean, last week, those whoops would have broke down. That whole
The
track was
guys
soft.
would hate it,
Yeah.
but a wall jump and then power down into the whoops.
Super interesting too, by the way. Lime in the dirt again this week.
Really?
Yeah, I could tell. Tires were white again, going off. Yep. Super interesting.
I don't know. The track looked pretty moist.
There was still lime in that dirt.
Maybe it was the other thing that old boy was talking about, like the coconuts or whatever. Did you
Nah.
hear that?
Yeah, I did, but they said they weren't using that.
Oh, I don't know. I think the track, that was the best dirt I've seen in Detroit in a little while.
Yeah, that was really good. That was really
So-
good dirt. So, all right.
What you got?
So little MXGP talk. How about that gnarly sewer crash there?
So the sewer crash,
And no one knows what happened.
I've had some flashbacks because that crash,
Yeah.
I did the exact same thing off T1 at Redbud.
Did you really?
Chain snapped off the face, and literally exact same thing.
Biggest fear at T2 at Redbud is that happening.
So I did that off the face of that, was leaning forward a little bit, just like that, to soak it up. Nothing. Snapped. Bike went straight down, hands went up like this, jumped, landed, and as I'm rolling at the bottom, I see the bike flipping over. I'm like, oh my God, I've been through the exact same thing. However, I did not run back to the bike and get back on it.
Well, the chain was broke, so.
Yeah. But I got up, I'm like, oh my God, did that really just happen?
Yeah, so super interesting. I don't know if you heard what's his nuts on one of Steve's shows there, Dan Truman. They've looked at all the data on that because they just put the new Get stuff on there. There's nothing that shows that bike cut out.
Really?
So and Steve said he's watched the replay a whole bunch of times. He doesn't see any chuck holes or anything in the face. So everybody's kind of like, no idea what happened.
Did it for show.
Yeah, that was it. Just like, all right. Another thing with the MXGP here, as far as a little bit of controversy goes, the new qualifying point system.
Yeah, how's that going? I haven't really been in tune with it all.
So you get 10 points for winning the qualifying race on Saturday. So now they're basically not paying them. Oh, that's yours. That's okay.
Oh, I'm dying?
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
dead.
It's
Nice.
because that battery. I didn't charge that battery pack, so it's all right.
Bye,
Whatever.
everyone.
It's fine. I'm only gonna do the 450 class with the split screen anyway, or all the different angles.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah. So, they're not paying anymore to do that race on the Saturday qualifying, and what ended up happening was, at one point, was it last year, year before, something like
God
that?
just said they weren't going to race it.
Yeah, they didn't want to race it because they're like, this is stupid. All we're doing is going out here and getting hurt for no reason other than gate pick. So now they put points in it to try to make it worth something, and the teams did not fire back, which is a bit disappointing, and say, no, we're not going to do this unless you're going to pay more. And now it's super weird because it's so many points that, like, the guy who won the GP is not the points leader, which is super weird.
Weird. It might be interesting, though.
I mean, somebody was talking because Timmy G is trying to come back by like round 4, which is insane off a broken femur.
Stem cells?
Maybe, who knows? But he's trying to come back. And if he comes back and starts ripping off wins, they're like, he could rip off 60 points a weekend. It would not take that many rounds for him to be right back in this for a title championship. Now, granted, I'm not sure Timmy G is just going to rip off wins in both the qualifying and the motos and, like, you know, start ripping off 60 points a week without wadding himself on other weeks. But it's an interesting thing. Like I said, I think it's too many points. I totally agree with everybody who's talking about being it's way too many.
Yeah.
That should be 2 points at most. And that's just so it makes it worth racing. And then that way too, the guy who wins the overall on the weekend is probably still at least in the first round, is still the red plate holder, because I can't remember who won that because, again, I don't follow it that closely, but I would be pissed if I won and did not have that red plate because of a qualifying
It makes
race.
it kind of interesting, though.
It does. The other interesting thing is Hurleys gets second place and didn't even really try or care. Which is really weird, because really interesting too, and shows how wide open that is right now, because the first race he was like 5th or 6th. So, like, when I saw that, I was like, how did he end up second?
Prado ended up winning, right?
I think so, yeah.
So let me throw this at you. I seen a rumor today, Prado 2024 US.
I have seen that too. There's been rumors floating around.
Does Mr. Justin Barsha get the boot for Mr. Jorge?
There is rumors floating around that that Timmy G is coming over too if he can't get back by round 4.
Oh,
but then that's
but he's
super
actually-
interesting too,
he's
because
actually come,
I
though.
was gonna say, but that's super interesting too, because, like, what are you gonna do? You could put him you're gonna put him on the team with Jet and Chase outdoors. You want to really mind fuck Chase? There you go. And actually, Prado did not win the overall. Ruben Fernandez won it, going 5-1. Hurlings got second, going 4-2, and Prado went third, going 1-6.
Yeah. So this is the cool thing about the GPs too, and I don't know if anybody's noticed, but Roman Febvre and Mitch Evans on the Kawasaki team, I did notice that they're wearing a new Garnet boot that I haven't heard anything on, seen anything on. But if you look, it's a different design. So I'm wondering if it's like the SG14 or something. But
Yeah, maybe.
interesting little thing I caught.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, one more thing before we get to the 250s here. Holster Co. Reload Rant.
Ooh, I got one.
So this is going to stem back to the Indy race here, and this is just going to be AMA never change. Have you heard about the Devin Simonson thing?
No, yeah, I guess it's time or something.
Yeah, so Devin Simonson in, I think it was a second qualifier, crashes in the middle of the finish line jump. He takes his time getting up, gets up, dusts himself off. Instead of going and completing the lap and then coming back around, he whips around the manager's tower and restarts the lap. So what ended up happening was...
This happened this weekend, or
this was in Indy.
Okay,
this was in Indy, okay? So what ended up happening was when he did this, he... it was like the perfect timing to give him like a top 10 qualifying time. Like he perfectly timed it. It was like 40 something. It's crazy, right? So he does this. So he's in the top 10. Okay, no problem. Well, they figured this out by him. His second time was like way farther off. So it takes them until like, I don't know, an hour, 30 minutes before the heats go off, right?
Everybody picked their fantasy team already?
Everybody's already picked their fantasy team. And then on top of that, they take away his time, which drops him way down the order, right? So what this does is everybody then above him has now shifted up. Well, for anyone not aware, in the heat races, it's like odd number qualifiers are in this heat and evens are in this heat. So everybody had their heat race already in their head and they're sitting there, and now all of a sudden he gets disqualified and moved down, and it's like, oh, you're in a different heat. And where this, I know, at least affected a couple people, one of them being Catanzaro, they're getting ready to head up. The star guys are running down the tunnel going, hey, man, you're supposed to be on the gate right now because he was supposed to be in heat 2 with the shift ends up in heat 1. So AMA never changed because you do this.
They never told the riders.
They never told the riders. And then on top of that, it's like you wait until way late in the game to do this, which is just like, okay, cool. I understand that, like, yeah, it needed to be said. Just change it in the results and leave everybody where they're at for heat races at that point.
Instead of making everybody swap the heat
Once
race.
you post heat races there, do not change. Like, that is the stupidest thing because it's not one guy. It's not like one guy got disqualified and you're grabbing this other guy and saying, hey, you're going to ride the night show. This is now a dozen dudes are all in different heat races who have no idea. So they're timing and not that all of these guys are finely tuned athletes, but again, I don't know what he qualified originally compared to what they dropped him to, but it's like you get into some of those factory dudes, they're finely tuned going, okay, cool, I have this much time, I need to eat here, I can nap for this amount of time, I need to start my warm-up here. Dude, I'd be pissed. Pissed.
Dude. So they don't want to spend the money, or it's probably free because the Battle Creek Motorcycle Club has one of these. Put everybody on a text list and send out an alert.
That's impossible. This is the AMA. Their websites, their timing websites from 1995.
Like, everybody's got a cell phone at least. Maybe the team manager or somebody's going to check their phone and be like, okay, hey, here's a new updated heat lineup.
It's just one of those situations that's, like, unreal. And then it's like, this is one of those things like, so this is what we're going to worry about? Everything else that goes on, this is what we're going to worry about? Any of the little tricks that the factory teams are pulling that they shouldn't pull according to the rules, we're not worried about that. This is it. Okay, cool, sweet, awesome. To screw up a bunch of dudes' races there, like, I mean, it just...
you're privateer, fuck it.
Yeah, just whatever. So that's my Holster Co. Reload rant. You got one there too?
Yeah, mine is kind of irrelevant. Maybe not. To you, it's probably irrelevant.
Yeah.
But Supercross the Game 6.
Okay.
Purchased it. I gave
Sick.
Probably felled my $60.
Nah, they just get a part of that.
I'm sure they get a part of it.
Licensing fee.
But not updated. No new gear. Tracks are dog water. Like they're
sweet.
I mean, you can just wheelie around the whole track basically because whoever designed the track, I think they did it in a sandbox and then scanned it. It was like no skill really involved. Like in the previous games, it was peaky where you actually had to land down in the jumps and keep a rhythm and stuff. No, dog water.
Awesome.
So yeah, I don't know if I can return a digital copy of a video game, but I would like to return it, sir. I would like you guys to invest a little bit more money into maybe making the physics better, maybe improving the game.
No, they've told me the physics are so much better.
Oh my god,
Gameplay's
dude,
better.
it's
You've got Jeremy
dog
McGrath
water.
as your coach.
Dude. I'm not worried about that. It's
So which one is your favorite then?
4.
4? Okay.
And I don't know, dude. It's dog water. I am not impressed with it at all thus far.
I only have 3 because I only have a Nintendo Switch. I don't play a lot of video games, so like I've only got 3. So that's the sum total, and I don't play it that much. So.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. If it's just like, hey, everybody's gonna keep buying these things, and everybody's gonna keep making their money because now at this point, Feld's making money off their licensing fee. Milestone or whatever is making their money, and they're literally doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They're just uploading new tracks in and making like basic changes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Supercross and motocross games in general have just taken a large L.
Do you play the MXGP one?
It's been the same.
That's the same too.
Came out basically,
Oh, okay.
and
I have the first one
oh, it's all the same
for
still.
my PS3.
Yeah. So, let's see what else. MX vs ATV Legends or whatever the newest one out. I really enjoy what they do with the real tracks. They've got the sleigh ground and all that.
Okay.
But oh my god, is it way too arcade-ish
The
and
physics
just, like,
are bad,
Oh
yeah.
my god, dude. So it's just a bummer, man. I almost would rather get my PlayStation 2 out and play MX Unleashed,
Yeah.
MX vs ATV Unleashed. I mean, I wish I could play online with my buddies, but I guess I'm gonna have to.
Have a party.
I'm just gonna have to have a party, 2-player split screen, get the old paper plate out and write down lap times like we all
There
used
you
to.
go.
So
Yes.
that'd be fun to live stream actually.
That'd be
Just
cool.
Get a couple guys around and get a paper plate out and do some lap time battles on Unleashed.
Hell yeah. That'd be cool. So, all right. Holster Co. Reload Rant there. Make sure you check them out. Links in the description down below. All right. Let's bust out this 250 race recap brought to you by our friends at Adept Creative Co. here. Make sure to check them out for all your graphics needs. We will have a new set popping in for the blue crew here.
I asked about stem cells. It's not a thing.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Hang on, I'm seeing.
Did you text Nick Way?
I did not text Nick Way.
All right. Well, all right. Okay. Let's with this 250. Let's just get right off the rip with the controversy in the 250 class. Okay. So obviously everybody's watched it. You have in Heat 1 there. You have Hayden Deegan rips a start, and Jordan Smith right on his butt. And
Oh, we're just getting right into this.
yeah, we're just gonna rip right into this one here because there's no point in even trying to go down the order here. We'll just
start with heat race
yeah.
beef.
Yeah. So okay.
Yeah,
So
where do you stand on
So
this here?
I got a hot take here.
All right.
I'm putting it 95% on Smith. Here's why. So
Wow.
Smith goes to make the pass. Obviously, Deegan wants to start proving more of his value here, okay? Right? He wants to start winning some more heats, getting more on the box and the main, that kind of stuff, right? Okay? So, you have Smith comes up, passes him, they go into the switchbacks there, they're playing cat and mouse. Obviously, at this point here, if I'm Smith, a veteran rider, right?
Okay, I'm on board with this. I already know where you're
I'm
going.
27 years old, okay? I'm battling with my teammate for first and second in the heat race. He is showing me he does not want to let me by. He's not holding me up. Great. As a veteran, cool kid, just take it. See ya.
Pass you in the whoops next
But
lap.
what does Smith do? As the moron he is, and again, this isn't a personal thing. This is just like a dumb racing decision. I know, as Hunter said in the press conference, you guys are making split-second decisions. I understand. I ride. It's a split-second decision. But instead of just letting the kid go and win the race where he's not holding you up and you guys go 1-2 and we get into the main and cool, then we'll handle whatever we need to in the main. You go into the 90 before the double-double section there, and you watch that. Number one, Deegan was still ahead of him, and Smith is trying to run his front wheel into his goddamn foot peg.
I don't really understand how he's going to make the double either.
I don't either. And here's the thing. He's not just like going straight. Like Deegan's cutting. Dude, just check up. Let him go. Just check
Pass
up
him in
and
the
let
whoops
him
next
go.
lap.
Pass him in the whoops next lap. Something. Just let him win the damn heat race. Who cares? If you guys go 1-2. Again, what are you winning? $5,000 for the heat race? Go up to him afterwards. Be like, yo, bro, just so you know, I let you have that. You owe me $2,000.
Get in his head.
Yeah, like get in his head. Just be like, yo, I let you have that. You're welcome for that heat race. Do something like that. But instead, what do you try to do? You try to show the kid, no, I'm the veteran. I'm going to, boom, put you on your ass. Guess what? How'd that work? Oh, you end up on your ass. And then what happens? Then you spiral right into Jordan Smith things. You then go around the next lap and you completely torpedo yourself. Yeah, torpedo yourself in the whoops. You then get up and you smack the manager's tower. What are we doing? Like, this is, you needed to pull your head out of your ass and use your veteran savvy because you've been racing for a lot of years now and let the kid go. And either if the opportunity's there, pass him. If not, you're fine. You got second in the heat. Big deal.
Yeah, to me, man, watching that, there's got to be some underlying beef somewhere because Hayden looks back over the finish line, knows he's there, knows who it is. So obviously going into that corner after the whoops, I thought maybe he got checked up or something. He clearly stomped on the brakes and stopped.
100%.
And that started it.
Yep.
So let's put some of the blame pie there. Then they go into the second corner. Instead of just doing a clean block pass and taking the line from Jordan Smith, he slams on the brakes and then dumps the clutch and tries to meet him at the exit. Dumb.
Yep.
Then they go into the next corner. Smith tries to check him up on the outside. He cuts under and just slams into the side of him. Mm-hmm. I don't really know why that was called for. There has to have been some kind of underlying beef there somewhere.
You would have to think so.
And I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's any truth to it. I saw on Twitter something about they've been riding him pretty hard at the farm during the week. Jordan and those guys have making some pretty hard passes on the hype man, which I could see.
You come in with this hype and this following and everything like that.
And beating him.
Yep. And
I think maybe there's a little bit of...
You're going to get that.
I don't know. Maybe it was a case of butthurt.
Maybe.
I don't know. But there's definitely something there to provoke that kind of riding because I don't think you just come out of the blue and ride like that without some kind of beef.
No.
So.
And then let's just finish this story off. Then you get Jordan Smith in the LCQ. Botches the start. Okay.
No. You know what happened to Jordan?
Oh,
Smith
yes. Sorry. Axel fucks up his
Hodges
rut.
fucked up his rut. Yeah.
So he botches the start. But I give him credit. At first in that LCQ, I was like, he's being very patient because he's just like, I don't want to crash in this. I need to qualify through. However, then you stall it. You get checked up in a corner and stall it, which is a terrible look. And I give him credit, dude. He was flying in that LCQ because when he stalled it and couldn't get started, I'm like, dude, he's done. There's no way. And then, of course, here is my ultimate moral dilemma because I want to see
Jack
him get
Chambers on your fantasy team.
On my fantasy team, but I want to see Smith get in the main. And I look at Justin and I go, the only way I want to see Smith actually pull this off is if the man up above is going to give us a Deegan Smith showdown in the main and they're going to just go at it. And be on the ground with each other, fist fighting or something. Outside of that, put Jack Chambers in. Well, apparently that wasn't going to happen in the main because the good Lord up above put Jack Chambers, who was on my fantasy team, in the main. Yep. And here's the thing. If anybody has a problem with that move Chambers put on him in that last corner, get bent.
That's the exact move that Thrasher should have done to Hunter.
Exactly. But dude, that was a perfectly executed one by Jack Chambers. It was good. I heard that the star manager was like throwing his hands up at him, and
they had the camera. They had the camera.
Did they?
In the tower?
I mean,
I've never seen that angle before, but the camera was in the tower.
Here's the thing, dude. Again, get bent, okay? These privateer guys are trying to make some damn money and get in the main. I'm sorry that your two guys are fighting, and so one ends up not in it.
Should have tucked under.
Here's the thing. Smith should have whole shot of that race and been gone. There's no reason he should have been in that position, period. Number one, he should have been in the position because he should have qualified in through the heat.
He should have let off.
He should have let off and just let Deegan go and been in through the heat. And then number two, in that LCQ, there's zero reason he should not have won by 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Because he is head and shoulders better than everyone. No offense to those guys in the LCQ. Again, they're all badasses, but he is head and shoulders better than everyone in there. So now you don't qualify. Now here's the unconfirmed rumor I'm hearing. And I'm going to put this out there because I want to know if it's true, and I've tried figuring it out, but I don't know. I heard through the grapevine that there were fists flying in the star tent after that heat race, and it might not have been Hayden throwing fist with Smith. It might have been somebody else. I have tried to confirm this. It is unconfirmed, so if anybody out there in the industry has confirmation that there was an altercation in the star pit after the heat race, I would love to know. Here's the other thing that me and Justin were talking about last night after all of this went down. I have heard for years that at the Amateur Nationals, the Deegan clan has been known to cause some chaos at the Amateur Nationals for different stuff.
I mean, look at Loretta's deal this year.
Yeah. So my thing is that like in all the times I've been at the races around Hayden here since he's kind of started jumping onto the pro scene, I have never seen anything happen per se. Doesn't mean it hasn't, but I haven't. But I've said before, and I'll say it again. If there is that kind of stuff happening, it will not take long for it to bubble to the surface, and you can't hide in the pros because there's too many cameras and too many people around.
Guess what?
It'll come out.
Yeah, but guess what? People are going to talk about it no matter what.
Yeah.
And on their platforms that they're on, talking shit's king.
Yep. So here's the thing. Again, unconfirmed what happened if there was a scuffle between anyone at the Star Rig or an altercation after that heat. It's unconfirmed. We have not confirmed it. We've been trying. I've been sending out
people that were there.
I've been sending out messages to everybody I know trying to get stuff. I have not heard anything yet. But again, last night, if there is an altercation between someone in the Deegan camp and someone in the Smith camp here, it's easy to hide it last night because it's Detroit, it's closed pits, there's not as many people. You get somewhere, like in Indy, like any of these other places where there's open pits and there can be a lot more people, you're going to have a lot harder time hiding this, and it's only going to be so long because the media outlets too, even the big ones who are in the circus here, are only going to go so long before something gets leaked to one of us who will put it out there, or they put it out there, period, for the views.
Well, keep an eye on it because Brian, I think, would be the guy that would just own it. Be like, yeah, this happened. This what happened. If you don't like it, then...
They started a live last night, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't stream for me in the thing, so I was trying to watch it in the stadium.
Isn't that fucking crazy, though?
Huh?
We're sitting in the stadium. Brian Deegan's live. We all click on it.
Uh-huh. 100%. So, yeah, that was super interesting. Again, I put a lot of the blame on Smith. You got to have more veteran savvy than that. Dude, if that stuff starts happening, if Tomac's trying to pass Jet and Jet's doing stuff like that, Tomac's going to back off. That's a veteran move to back off and just let it play out.
It's an ego thing. It's
putting
100% an ego thing.
But putting your wheel into his swing arm beyond his foot peg to try to take him out in the corner ain't going to work. Never going to work. Sorry. Which is what happened. Go back and watch it. And I'm sure you have, but go back and watch it because I've watched this thing 100 times already. When they go into that corner before that double-double, Smith is putting a front wheel into the swing arm behind his foot peg. It's never going to work, bro.
Yeah.
And that's why he went down. Yep, and then it just spiraled from there. So, okay, back to the 250 stuff here. Let's run this down now.
Yeah.
So Hunter, have not changed my notes. Still fully in control. Picture perfect day.
Yeah.
His whoop speed and technique's amazing.
Yeah, he looked good.
Dude, he was the best 250 guy there yesterday as far as whoop speed and technique went. He was just...
Jordan Smith was pretty good in the whoops, too.
Smith was fast, but not all the time, and then he weeded it where you didn't see... Hunter doesn't put a wheel wrong, dude.
Right.
They are one of them. When Jet and Hunter are done racing, I cannot wait to hear the interviews with their dad about all the different crap they have tried. Because the stuff that AJ kind of sprinkles out there in his podcast of like what they do at the track as far as testing and stuff goes, and the way their dad's mind thinks, insane.
I'm interested now.
Insane. So
tell me something. Give me a little tidbit.
I don't know, man. There's so much stuff throughout the different weeks, and he doesn't ever. It's very rare he gets super specific. But he has mentioned several times the amount of testing and things they do because Dazzy, I think, is very, very smart, and he will come up with stuff and be like, let's try that. Now, I've also heard, and just a little side note here, and I don't know if you've heard this, Jet on a 450 is incredible. Benny was telling Dan Truman, he's like, dude, wait until you see this, because this is ridiculous what he's doing in his first 2 weeks on a 450 on Supercross. So I can't wait. Now, Dan Truman did caveat it by saying, well, yeah, I'm sure when I watch him, I'm going to be like, holy shit, that's amazing. He goes, but I also get that same feeling when I watch Chase ride. So, like, I mean, what are we really doing here?
What are we doing?
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see, but it'll be interesting. But Hunter is completely, and that fun fact they kept throwing out yesterday, that in the same amount of races, he has the same amount of wins, basically the same amount of podiums. The only thing he doesn't have is a title to his name here. So that's super interesting that Hunter is almost equally as good, we'll say, in Supercross, outside of, and I kept throwing this out there to people. I keep throwing this out to people. How many races did he miss because he was hurt? I understand active races is what they were comparing apples to apples there with that, but there's a bunch he missed because of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So
he gets to defend if he wins this?
Yep. Which I think is the plan as far as I know, is he will come back next year for 250 Supercross, probably ride west.
Both with 2 Supercross titles apiece.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing, if everything goes right, that he'll have under his brother is one less outdoor title.
And here's the thing. It may be 2, because he's the favorite, but I'm not convinced he's going to win that outdoor title.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's this outdoor guy. His name is Tom Vial, who's here in the States now riding. He's pretty good at outdoors.
Is he?
Pretty good, from what I hear.
Never heard of him.
He's got like a couple world titles over in some crazy European country or series or something. Yeah, so that'll be interesting.
What color bike does he ride?
There's another guy too. What was his name? Oh, Jeremy Martin. He's got a couple outdoor titles too.
Is he? He's
He's
number 6,
pretty
right?
damn good if he stays healthy. So, anyway,
So that Justin Pooper guy is pretty good too. How about Joe Shimoda?
Yeah. So, all right. Nate Thrasher, second place. That was a solid ride, but he didn't have nothing yesterday.
And I will give it to Nate Thrasher. I was impressed to see him say it on the podium. He's like, "Yep, I want it, but we're gonna need a little more to win tonight." Mm-hmm. And he knew.
Yeah.
He seems like a real quiet, reserved, do his job kind of guy.
I will say though, and we kind of were talking about this, the press conference interview where they asked Deegan about it, and dude, Thrasher and Hunter both were laughing.
I think he's looking fifth now.
yeah. You see Thrasher just straight faced as the whole press conference, and then they say that, and he just leans back. And he's just like,
because he's probably thinking it too. Maybe Jordan Smith's a douche.
I don't know.
I'm not sure much about that camp.
I'm not sure. It's interesting though. But
yeah.
So second place, but dude, it would have to really change for him to get Hunter. He again got lucky. I call it luck. He was consistent at the Triple Crown and got that win, but he's got nothing for him.
That Daytona ride really hurt him.
Yeah.
And he got 2 bad rounds. You can't do that in an Eastern Regional title.
Yeah, and then he's got that knee thing, and I heard he's more beat up than that even. And you notice he put it out there yesterday in the stadium interview there after qualifying of like, we'll just have to see how the knee is with outdoors. He isn't riding outdoors.
Yeah.
He isn't. So, all right, Deegan gets third, second podium of the year. Man, he's loose, dude. I'm gonna say this over and over again.
Watch, I think.
He is fun to watch, but he is loose. There was a lot more mistakes I saw yesterday. Even
I guess I didn't really watch him as hard as I should.
I watched like second qualifying. I was trying to film whoop stuff, and there was a couple times I filmed him coming out. The one time he came out of that corner and he went off that double sideways, and then
I've seen
backed
a lot
it
of
down
guys
and
pushing
stuff.
the front end out of that corner.
No, this was the rear. He was way too hard on. He was Tokyo drifting out of the corner up the face, and had to back out of it because he wasn't pulling it back.
I'll give him this though. I watched his whoop speed increase throughout the day.
Yeah, he still does not have Hunter speed, and I still don't think he quite has Thrasher speed on race days
or just
track overall.
Oh, okay.
He's not on that level. He's got another step to take.
He was phenomenal up the Dragon's Back though. I don't know if you noticed that, but he was damn good up that Dragon's Back.
Yep. So, he's very good. Still a rookie. Still a kid.
Still exceeding expectations.
Yep. So,
I didn't have 2 podiums on my bingo card. I didn't have third in points on my bingo card.
no. And now it's getting to be a pretty handily third in points too. Like,
I mean, he caught and passed Jeremy Martin again. Mm-hmm. Another iconic Jeremy Martin Deegan battle.
I kept saying that to Justin yesterday. I'm like, bro, look at this iconic Deegan Martin
you want to
battle.
talk about another iconic battle? How about Vial and Chris Bros?
Yes. Yes, I said that too.
I wish I would have watched that a little more, but those dudes were going at it.
Going at it. I did. I watched it like the last 3 or 4 laps, man. I was like, holy crap. So
I don't know if they caught that on the broadcast.
I don't know either. All right, so J-Mart 4th. And honestly, with Jeremy, this is just what you need to do, man. Just keep finishing. Just keep finishing. Just keep finishing.
He hasn't been 100% healthy into an outdoor series in a long time.
And he is well aware too that outdoors is where if you watch any of those Club Life videos, he makes mention of it in those. So, but good ride for him. Looks spicy. Did he win the heat too?
Yeah, won the heat.
Yeah, won the heat.
After that
so
fiasco.
yeah. So good for him.
So our boy Denver.
Oh boy,
was running the Club MX jacket all weekend. Somehow
Okay.
had a credential or something. Was in the club semi.
I got one too.
No, like this dude had all access. He was down on the floor.
Oh,
Yeah,
he had like a hard card.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he was like, "Yeah, I had to wash Jeremy's bike or something," not knowing exactly what washing was. I'm like, dude. Racer X just put out a tweet that Martin's bike won't start and they're changing the ECU, like having electrical issues. Like, what happened to his bike? Like, who washed it? And he's like, I did. Where did you see that? He's like, that couldn't have happened because all I did was spray muck off on it and wipe it down.
That's awesome.
I just thought that was funny. But and then I'm like, dude, get me a jersey. He's like, oh, dude, he's had the same set of gear on all day. He's not giving jerseys away. I got on Facebook today in the Facebook jersey groups that I'm in.
Yeah.
Jeremy Martin jersey, first go.
Yeah.
Screenshot. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
How about can we just get a front number plate for the studio?
Even that. I got to bust Denver's balls.
Oh, man.
Denver's big old balls.
Yeah. Chris Blows. 5th place. Dude, he's
Getting better. Chugging.
And like you said, him
Team
and
Green,
Vial battling for 5th place for the last like 5 laps or more of that main. And like I said, I watched that and I was like, oh, is Vial going to get him? And he is close, man.
Vial had him for a while, and then I think Blows passed him back, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember exactly. But yeah, Vial just didn't have him at the end there. But this to me is good. And Blows was fast in the whoops yesterday.
He's always been pretty good in the whoops.
Yeah, he was real impressive in the whoops. He did not hit the brakes going into the whoops. So, and then Tom Vial 6th, and again, this is great in my opinion because he's just getting his feet wet. Yeah, get through, stay healthy, get ready for outdoors.
Spend a month with Marv on the whoops, jumping through them.
Yep. So, Cullen Parks 7th, so that's a good ride for him. Cody Schock 8th, that's good.
That's another good ride.
Yep.
Oh, these next 2 guys were on my fantasy team.
Henry Miller and Michael Hicks.
Yep.
So Michael Hicks almost didn't make it out for free practice because when we were coming in the stadium, his dude was driving his van around and then went sprinting by as we were about to go in the door with his gear, like everything basically but his boots and his helmet in his hands. It was crazy.
Weird.
Yeah, super weird. So, but yeah, Henry Miller 9th.
So I will give this to Henry Miller. So I put him on my team. He didn't qualify very well, but that dude is solid. I watched him.
Yep.
He was about 15th, worked his way all the way into the top end.
Yep.
And Hicks, I didn't think his fitness was all that great, but he did the same thing, kind of worked his way through.
Hicks just high scoring fantasy every week now.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know, man.
No,
I don't know.
I'm glad to see it. He's fun to watch when he's throwing whips and stuff
and
too. So
that van of his is, or that
box van's
van's sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah,
no, good for those guys. My 250 fantasy team was phenomenal.
Dude, mine was super good up until the point that Welton weeded himself in the whoops, and then all of a sudden I went from like 1500th to like 11,000.
I didn't look and see what place I was in, but I had Henry Miller to 5. He got 8.
I sent it last night.
I had
in fantasy.
Hicks, and I had Lance Kobush.
I did too.
I
didn't have Hicks. I had Lance Kobush.
I had a baller team.
Yeah, mine was. We'll discuss it on that fantasy show that we'll actually do this week. It was a mess, dude. Friday was a mess, too. Anyway, Jace Owen 11th, Caden Braswell 12th. That's really good for him.
Yep.
Jeremy Hand 13th, Brock Pappy,
dude, up front, 4th in the main, or heat, 4th in the heat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think his fitness is there because he was up front early. Kind of had the Kev syndrome, I think. Was up front with those boys and blew his load.
Talon Hawkins 15th. Okay,
rough in the whoops.
AJ Catanzaro, 16th place.
13 handicap.
I'll be interested. Yeah. No, he was on my team this week. He was on last week. I'll be interested to see his vlog here. I don't know if you watched his vlog last week.
I don't watch him. I don't know. I can't find.
He had a full body cramp after the heat. Last week, he literally was just laying on the floor, like half under one of the fence things, like could not move. And then like his van driver was like holding his arms above his head to try to get the blood to come out of his arms because he was so cramped up and everything transferring in. It was crazy. It was really weird.
What the fuck?
Did see his cameraman Cam this weekend. Said what's up to him again. He remembered me from last weekend, so that was cool. So that's cool. I like what they're doing, man. I like their YouTube stuff now. It's much more not YouTube. So,
I guess I'll have to watch the Daytona one you told me about.
I turned you on Craig, so now I'm going to turn you on to AJ.
I don't watch any of the Craig ones still either.
I don't watch a lot of the Craig ones, but you're a Craig fan now, so as are we.
I'm neutral.
Big Craig fan.
I'm neutral.
Big Craig fans
I'm
over
neutral.
here.
I'm not a hater anymore, but I'm neutral.
Didn't see Paige this weekend either. That makes me sad. So, anyway, Jumpin' Jack Chambers on my fantasy team here.
Now, I did watch him in practice, and I was like, damn, he just strung together 3 pretty clean laps. I'm like, yeah, might put him on the team.
One of the first shots in the whoop video that I just put up is him going through the whoops, and you can hear me in the background saying, yeah, every time Jack Chambers goes through the whoops, I'll film him because it's going to get sketchy, and literally goes off the track and hits a tough block. I go, there you go. Right there.
No way.
Oh, man. I feel bad for the kid because from what I understand, during the week, he is fast as hell. And then he gets to the race, and it's just like nothing goes right for him. So, but he did qualify in. That was awesome. 17th, which was great.
Though.
Yeah, through the
He fell on
LCQ and
Smith.
everything. Yep. Lane Allison makes another main, so that's cool. 18th,
sneaky.
2 weeks in a row. Yep. Gage Linville, 19th. Lance Kobush
First
shows
main
up.
for Linville, I think.
Is it?
First or second, maybe.
I'm not sure. Lance Kobush shows up to a Supercross and looks good all week or all day.
Yeah, he was also in the very first practice where it was super smooth.
That's okay. I still put him on my fantasy team, and we made it, which was awesome. Michigan's own Marshall Welton, 21st, torpedoed himself in the whoops. Oh,
Did you
man.
see it?
Oh, yeah.
I saw it on Instagram.
I was I haven't seen it on Instagram. I watched it in the stadium because he was on my fantasy, so I was watching him, and oh, my God, he did that, and I was just like, come on.
I was like, yes, more points, because I think he was in a battle with Hicks.
Yeah, literally at that time, I was like I said, I was like 1500th or something in fantasy. I was watching it, and then he torpedoes himself like that, and I'm just like, shit.
I watched him kick the bike for about 3
Yeah, I
minutes
couldn't get the
after
bike
that.
started either. Which doesn't surprise me because the bike went upside down, so that happens.
Suzuki.
Yeah. And then Max Anstey.
Ooh. Your all-star?
No, Deegan was. Actually, Deegan was. He had a 5 handicap. I figured the worst he's going to get is about 8th, so like minimize damage at that point. And Hunter was a 0, so I could have picked him, but I didn't want to risk it. Poor Max. That was bad.
I missed it. What did he get? He
I don't
looked kind of
remember.
off all day, but
He did something, and then his shifter was screwed up because you could see him screwing with it. And then he rolled around for a while, and then I think he just pulled off.
yeah.
And
What,
I
did
feel
he clip somebody's back end?
I don't remember. I have to go. I have to go back and watch it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
probably
remember.
gonna go home tonight and watch it too.
Yeah,
but-
so that kind of sucks for him.
Yeah.
because he, is spicy. Actually, says he did 2 laps. So, but I did like the video thing they did on him where he's like, every day I wake up and I'm just like, I'm in America and this is awesome. It's good to hear that coming even not out of an American's mouth
Yeah.
with all the negative hate towards the country.
Yeah, that was cool.
So it's nice to hear. So, yeah, so that's the 250 class. Anything else you want to...
Max Anstey is now known as, to my girlfriend or people that don't really watch a lot of racing, but I show them interviews.
Yeah.
Max Anstey's the $1,500 guy.
Love it. Love it. So, all right. Well, that's been your 250 race recap brought to you by Adept Creative Co. I'm not going to lie, man. I'm a little sad because that is basically my last Supercross race I'll be going to for the year here. And I love going to the stadiums.
I got one more on the schedule.
I know. And I was really debating going to that one, but like I said, between budget and then it was like, I can't pass up this money. I gotta make that. So booked a car for that weekend. So I gotta be here Sunday to get that dropped off. So what are you What's your plan for coming back from there? Are you guys driving?
We're driving. We're taking golf clubs. We're golfing Friday. It's a day race.
No, okay.
Got hotels booked. We're staying. There's a bridge to the stadium, I guess.
Okay.
We're staying right across from the bridge. 5-minute walk from the stadium.
Sweet.
2 nights there. Golfing somewhere Sunday.
So you will not be here for the show Sunday.
No.
So I should line somebody up.
You should line
unless
somebody up.
Justin's back by then, because I guess that is after Glendale. So.
Maybe call Justin in. If not, I don't know. You want some random showing up?
No. I'll line up Cooksey or Coach or somebody to talk about
We
it.
need to get one of them on here. Just
Yeah. I was
do it
thinking about that
anyway.
yesterday too. If I need to start scheduling through the rotation a little bit here, so got some other people I'm gonna try to get on a little later in the year. So other media people, legitimate media people. So
How are you putting clickbait on here?
yes,
Johnny Clickbait?
Johnny Clickbait. I clickbait everything, dude. Gets us views. I don't know what I'm gonna title the Deegan section from this weekend, but
Johnny Clickbait.
it wasn't Deegan's fault.
Johnny Clickbait is driving me nuts.
Yeah, we won't get into that. I love that guy. So, all right.
I don't know him enough, but man, some of the TikTok stuff he reaches, dude.
It's fine.
He's like crazy bike malfunction, and it was just the whole shot device not coming undone over
Yeah.
the first jump.
Who cares, man? Gets views, bro. That's what the name
For
of the game.
views, yeah,
Get the views.
Yeah.
Get the views. So,
Whatever. He's laughing to the bank.
yep, exactly. So, all right. Well, this has been another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show, episode number 230. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks to all our sponsors, Complete Racing Solutions, TLR Coatings, Holster Co., Gutter Worx, Adept Creative Co., Isaac Nelson Designs, and Edgewood Farms. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. New shows every week. We will be back with a fantasy show. For any of our fantasy people, sorry, we kind of dropped the ball this week. Thursday was a bit crazy. By the time I realized it was time to do a fantasy show, it was after that, and Cole
And
didn't
he texted me,
even
and
know.
then I was ghost for a while.
Yeah, and then
I
and
think I
then
texted you back at like 9:45. Like,
it was
yeah,
like
I'll do
10:30.
I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, and then Friday we were gonna do it, and Friday was just chaos for me with a whole bunch of stuff, and so yeah. Anyway, so here we are. Thanks to Kev for coming on. Again, thanks to all you for watching, and yeah, we'll be back next week with another show. Later.
Later.